Hello and welcome to today, being the 4th of February, for some Division 1 V-League, League of Legends. Myself, Sam Spitfire Wobble, joined again by my lovely co-host.
Ethan Hooper Hargreaves. Good to be back.
I know, it's going to be a fun day, looking for some pretty, hopefully high-level League of Legends today, but we never know what's going to happen. So it looks like we've got Team Horizon Shadow versus Team Roccet. Roccet. I don't know how to pronounce that, but I'm going with Roccet.
Yeah, we'll go Rocket.
Roccet.
Yeah, Horizon Shadow currently sitting second in the table of Division 1 after picking up a win last week against the Blaze. And Rocket currently sitting joint bottom after their loss against United Horrors of Runeterra. And here we are getting into the champion select.
Yeah, it is only second week though, so they've only played one game so far. So it's not really telling how strong these teams could be. Like they could have just gone against a weak opponent or a strong opponent. But I think today we'll sort of see how teams are starting to level out.
Yeah, and we're getting very quickly through the bans here. No surprise really for the Viego ban, obviously very new champion, not many people familiar with it. And Rocket actually have two players, one in the jungle and one in the mid lane, that have both played a large number on this champion. So no surprise there. Fiddlesticks also comfort pick for Pyro Tom, so that also makes sense. Nivea and Yone are also going to be taken off the table, so pinching the mid lane pool quite a lot here.
It'd be interesting what the jungle picks are, because obviously we're on 11.3, so a lot of strong jungle picks have got nerfed. Fiddle obviously wants someone who hasn't been touched at the moment, so good to get that out of there. Udyr, don't know how strong he is after the patch, but he was quite a threat before the patch, so good to get rid of that. And Nara in the top lane, quite a safe blind pick, so good to get rid of that. And the first pick, Seraphine, did get nerfed, but probably still quite a strong pick, I'd say.
Yeah, definitely, and also prioritizing an early pick for Spike as their support. Actually, their highest ranked player. Played well over 100 games so far this split, so very impressive work from the Plat 2 player. Nunu going to be the response, as well as Ornn, so that is a very tanky and an awful lot of CC coming out from Rocket very early on in the draft.
Yeah, Nunu's always a bit of a sleeper pick in the jungle. So it seems to be quite strong, but no one really plays it. So it's nice to see that getting some attention now. Ornn, very good, just blind pick. Doesn't particularly have a huge amount of weak matchups. Maybe like Renekton, some super lame bullies, but you just get that tanky. Picking up that Senna on the other side though for Jigger. Good AD carry pick. Seen it a lot in the LEC and LCS, doing a lot of damage. And Fiora in the top lane.
Yeah, Fiora actually a solid counter to the Ornn. The parry from Fiora is actually a really good counter to Ornn's auto attacks. So the W auto attack that is like one of the main trading powers of Ornn, to get that micro CC onto enemies can actually be parried by Fiora. So there's going to be a lot of mind games going on between the Ornn and Fiora, and it looks as though Jhin will be the pickup for Rocket, which still, I had a few micro nerfs as well as the nerfs to Gale Force, but still an incredibly strong AD carry.
Yeah, it does bring that very long range. Can be initiated by the Nunu. Obviously wants to go in with the world's biggest snowball.
And we're seeing some more pinching of the jungle pool by Rocket here. With Horizon Shadow not picking theirs up in the first three picks, so the Hecarim's been taken off the table. Wouldn't be too surprised to, despite the nerf, see something like Olaf be pinched here as well. Oh no, it's actually the Ivern. So Olaf's still available. Not quite as strong as he was on 11.2, but still an incredibly effective pick with the likes of Senna and Seraphine there to protect him.
Yep, and for the other side coming out is Diana and Xerath in the mid lane. So they've really pinched the mid lane focus there. 3 bans on the side of Horizon Shadow. Looks like Rocket are going towards their support. Rel, decent pick, hasn't been nerfed. Very tanky, good engage. No, but this last minute switch to the Darius, which is locked in.
Okay, so it's Darius mid?
That could be a Darius mid, maybe.
Or are they going with the classic Nunu mid push and roam?
Ooh,
it would be an unusual pick, but it's not out of the realms of possibility.
We'll have to see what happens if that Nunu gets swapped around.
Okay, so we were expecting. There it is. It is going to be the Cassiopeia mid. That does confirm that Seraphine's going to be the support and not the mid laner. So that makes a lot of sense. That also moves Senna to being the AD carry, which is what we were expecting, but it can obviously be played in the support role.
Just the jungle left for Horizon now. Hovering the Nidalee. Quite a squishy team if they do lock the Nidalee in. Not much of a front line. So, as I say that, switch to the Mundo. Been shown up quite a lot recently in the jungle. Also
Yeah,
very, very tanky.
yeah, we also saw it in LEC last week with Tinks from SK playing it, picking up the quadra kill, but we did see that the later that game went, the less effective he was. I will say though that there isn't an awful lot of armor shred on the side of Roccet to take this down. The Rumble makes some sense here, although I'm still trying to figure out this Roccet comp.
I think it's Nunu support, maybe. I
Perhaps.
yeah, I don't really know any of those support picks. Oh, it looks like
No.
it could be the all support.
Yeah, I think we might be looking at an on support here, which is an unusual strategy, but looks like the way we
Yeah,
might be going.
it,
Does make
it
sense to
was a
put.
thing.
Yeah, it was a thing for a short period of time, but you have to think that the Senna and Seraphine are really going to be able to poke out this on because he has to commit the Q and E to be able to find a significant fight for Jin to follow up on.
And
Um,
with just the such her humongous range of the Senna and the Seraphine, I feel like Rocket aren't going to have any lane prior in the bot lane. Obviously, the Jin's got quite a good range, but he's just going to get bullied out and poked out by these other two long range picks. So we'll have to see what Rocket do with it.
Yeah, for sure. There's going to be so much harass coming out from the Senna and the Seraphine that laning phase wise, Jin and Ornn are going to have a very difficult time. It's going to be up to the Nunu to try and guarantee them some safety down there. So it'll be interesting to see whether pitching a tent does pitch that tent down in the bot lane. Um, Otherwise, you have to think that Rocket are looking towards the team fight stages of the game. You're looking for the snowball, Ornn into Rumble, into Jin um, rather than simply winning through lane priority.
It'd be interesting to see if they've taken the ghost on the Darius then, if they are focusing more towards the, say, team fight where the Darius could sort of just run into them and cause as much carnage as they can while all these long range abilities come in as well.
Well, yeah, we haven't even acknowledged really what I was saying previously about the Ornn versus Fiora matchup. We're assuming that the Fiora was picked as that counter to the Ornn, only then to have been tricked into playing against Darius. Again, not the worst matchup in the world for Fiora, but as many
Just,
people watching will know from playing against Darius in solo queue, never a fun champion to play
yeah,
against.
she's not going to have fun early. Obviously, Fiora's a monster late game, but her early game leaves something to be desired most of the time. But
Yeah,
if Trolulu plays can play safe, just get to the late game. I feel like this Fiora probably can't be matched. I don't feel like anything on the Rocket lineup can match it late game. And with the Cassiopeia and Senna, a lot of scaling coming out from Horizon there.
yeah, you have to feel that Trolulu is going to be playing for like late game split pushing, while Rocket are going to be wanting to go for those team fights. So it's going to depend on whether the likes of Cassiopeia, Seraphine, Senna are able to provide enough disengage that Fiora gets enough time on that side lane and they can survive those, in some cases 4v5 interactions. Um, so we'll definitely see, especially as you say, we don't know whether the Darius is going to be taking Ghost or Teleport. So we'll see what kind of priority they want to put on that.
Yeah, it's going to be an interesting game on both sides. I feel like both have a very strong mission in mind. Rockout being the team fighting, probably Horizon scaling to late, playing this probably this 4-man snowball, uh, disengage, kind of just heal up, keep the Mundo in the front line, making sure no one gets onto carries, kind of thing. Just getting healed up by the Senna and the Seraphine.
Yeah, I'm definitely interested in the question of scaling on this because on one hand you have got the infinite scaling of Senna, you've got the excellent scaling of Cassiopeia, towards her 5-6 item marks, and she doesn't have to buy boots. Um, but then on the other side, you have got the Ornn, which is it's a disappointment really that it's in the support position, but you've got those upgrades of the mythic items, which I'm afraid for those watching, I am not quite clued up on the names of those items. There's some interesting spellings going on there. Someone at Riot was trying to definitely cheat at Scrabble. But that, that provides incredible scaling when you can get those upgrades. You're getting, 4,000 or 5,000 extra value for free simply out of the levels of on. So it'll be interesting to see if you can reach that level on a support pick. But otherwise, again, Rumble scales, incredibly well. Jhin doesn't scale too bad, although I would say the Senna will outscale with the range of souls.
Yeah, the only the only on item upgrade I can remember off the top of my head is Imperial Mandate. It goes to no, it's gone. It's something about Commander. It's really weird. It's nothing related to what it is. It just I had it in my mind and now it's just gone. Apologies for that.
Yeah, I love it. I didn't even set you up for that. You set that up for
No,
yourself.
I literally spoke about it myself, and
yeah, that was quite comedic there.
yeah.
Right, so we are going to be getting into the game. We'll be pausing in just a moment.
Interesting. Lot of nice skins on the Roccet side. Playing that new Scrolls Jhin skin.
Yeah, Shanghai really Scrolls, like. Excellent skin. Been disabled for a few days actually due to some visual issues with the W. So I've not actually had a chance to see it in game really. So that'll be nice.
Yeah,
and it'll be interesting to see whether we're going to be seeing the farming Senna or the fasting Senna. We've seen an awful lot from the likes of Sven in LCS playing the fasting Senna, and Seraphine is definitely a champion that can benefit from a higher gold income than the support would normally have.
Yeah, but and then you see the opposite end where you've got Reckless playing the full. It's not a damage. It's a more attack speed. Like say with build things like the Guinsus, and you just more like a sort of like Ballista, more than
Kraken Slayer into Ginsu's Rage Blade. It does provide an awful lot of damage.
Yeah. Oh, so it'll be an interesting match. I'm excited to see what both these teams can do. Obviously, Roccet wanting to impress after their loss last week. Horizon Shadow coming in off on a win. But the Roccet did lose to a team that has gone 2-0 now, so maybe they bounce back after that.
Yeah. Just taking a look through Mastery, sorry, not Mastery, Runes. Nothing really jumping out as a big surprise. We're seeing the Glacial Augment Senna into Dark Harvest Jhin, so kind of everything that you expect there. Conqueror from both top lanes. We're seeing Guardian from the Seraphine. I haven't played an awful lot of Seraphine, but it makes a good amount of sense.
I tend to play the Seraphine Guardian. Just gives you that more safety. Gives you your ADC a lot, makes them a lot more tankier, especially when you are getting dived on. And with the Horizon Shadow having so much damage anyway, you don't particularly need that Comet coming out.
Yeah, and it adds to the point that the 2v2 here is going to be so incredibly difficult to kill this Senna Seraphine bot lane. You've got Guardian, you've got the heal from Senna's Q, Piercing Darkness, and you're then going to have the heal coming out from Seraphine as well, and the slows and the stuns. Like, it is going to be so difficult for an Ornn to successfully get on top of that. I'm curious to see. I really think this Ornn pick is just going to be for the late game team fighting with the ultimate, the good old Ornn Horn. So it'll be interesting to see how the lane goes here. I'm skeptical. I'm willing to give it the benefit of the doubt. I'm a huge Ornn fan. He's a champion that I've spent an awful lot of time on, but never outside of top lane or jungle, really.
Yeah, I haven't particularly. I don't think I've ever played it in support, being a support mid myself. I mean, you can see maybe into like a tank matchup where it's maybe like the Borm or something where you can just scale it out. 3 minutes.
And do you want us to play from there or still paused?
Okay, and we're in at 3 minutes. Unfortunately, we have had some stream issues, but we'll get back into game straight away. Doesn't look like anything much has happened. No kills going down. 500 gold lead to Horizon Shadow at the moment. But apart from that, the teams have just sort of gone to lanes. Oop, can't engage onto the Roccet. So yeah, you can see there that all the damage coming out from the Seraphim and the Senna. It's just so oppressive.
Yeah, you're really just going to see the Senna and Seraphim just whittle down this bot lane. You can see just again landing the piercing darkness through the minions. You know, hoping to pick up some of those stacks. It is going to be very oppressive down here. I will say Rock's done a good job to stay in decent range with CS. You know, this wave's going to push in. He's going to pick up an awful lot of that. Pyro Tom actually there being caught walking through mid lane, trying to get the double scuttle off. So going to get a little XP advantage there.
Yeah, so yep, just a Weasel in the top lane with the Darius has gone for the TP. So maybe trying to match the Fiora, making sure they don't get out around. As we do see the Fiora dive onto them. The Pyrotom has joined the Burning Agony placed down. Quite an easy kill onto the Darius there. Not a lot of mobility. Doesn't burn his flash though, so still got that.
Yeah, it makes sense to save it. Still surprised didn't try and hand the kill over to the Fiora. You have to think it might have been a bit more impactful in that side lane matchup, but definitely getting a Mundo head early can be incredibly effective.
Yeah, the Rumble tends to be quite a we just planted mid lane, quite a lane bully. Lot of early damage, and just you can't get away from it. Ooh, jungler's meeting in the mid lane, just north of the mid lane. Ooh,
Pyro Tom is going to land the cleaver. He's going to try and chase down the Rumble. Oh, as we see Just Weasel get the pull in onto the Fiora, also leveled up to 5, and Trolulu does not want anything to do with that. As we're actually seeing the Rumble push right under to his second tier turret, coming back with just over 200 health. Shame we didn't quite get to see that, but Pyro Tom really pushing that early advantage to impact the mid lane.
Yeah, so as we can see that the Darius is quite a lane bully, pushing the Fiora under the turret, and the Mundo having quite a nice early game. Obviously just wanting to scale, but he's been a bit all over the place, whereas it doesn't look like pitching tents just invaded onto the Raptors, stealing a couple of them away. But nothing too much coming out from the side of the Roccet yet.
No, oh, and Cassiopeia's just got level 6. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to do an awful lot, but Cocaine Brownie really struggling with being behind in CS and in XP with that push out. Oh, and it looks as though Trolulu wants to take a bigger trade onto the Darius, taking those stacks.
Okay, so managed to stack the full passive onto the Fiora there, but just playing it safe, didn't want to commit too much.
No, without the level 6, it doesn't look as though Darius is feeling confident enough to go in.
He's got the pull in.
Oh, here we are. Are we going to see the Noxian Guillotine come out here? No, it looks as though he's just going to push the wave in. Nunu is in wait though, so it'll be interesting. Oh, and here we are, Pyro Tom setting up a tent in the bot lane.
So they've got the flash, Seraphim on. Ignites down, Burning Agony just chased down onto Roccet there. Rock from Roccet, the Jhin is down. Burned both summoners there for the flash and the ignite out of Senna as well. But a nice trade again from Horizon. They're looking quite good in the early game, getting these early picks.
Yeah, definitely. Just a bit of an overextension from Jhin and On there. Oh, and here we are. He always blown the parry. And Just Weasel not going to go in for the pull. Perhaps still had it on cooldown. And X-Striker still just picking up more and more stacks here. It's looking quite dangerous. Currently only sitting at 7 stacks, so you know we'll have to keep an eye on it, see if they can get towards that 20 mark to increase the range. And Cassiopeia still just harassing this Rumble, who really just wants to get towards the team fight stage of the game.
Oh, Rock Sonic just got back to lane and is immediately chunked to about half health. They're having to burn a pot just because this Senna Seraphim's so oppressive.
Yeah, and surprisingly, we're seeing Just a Weasel here, you know, falling a little bit behind in CS. Oh, it looks as though there's going to be a fight here, though. That's an early parry into a pull-in. No, okay, Just a Weasel's happy to just push Trololu away from the wave. We do have Pyro Tom in the area, though. Looks like he's taking the blast plant over, and there is a control ward though, so should get away.
Yeah. So it looks like we're starting to get the level 6s coming out from P. Ooh, Pyro Tom's got a 2-level advantage over pitching a tent. Not looking good for this Nunu at all.
No, I would have expected maybe. Obviously, we didn't see the first 3 minutes, but would have expected to see a few more early ganks out of the Nunu. That is one of the key powers of the champion. Oh, and there's the pull. Yeah, we're going to see the Noxian Guillotine here for sure. He's got the flash.
And ulti. Very nicely done.
There we go. Very patient from Just a Weasel, waiting for the parry to come out before he lands that ultimate. And it looks as though he's going to balance this matchup straight up.
Yeah, the Darius did want to start getting ahead of the Fiora because, as we said, Fiora is just going to get to that point where it's just such a team fight, not even a team fight menace, split push menace, just going to be constantly pushing lanes and no one's going to be able to match her. So getting that kill onto them with the slight CS deficit, it's only about 3 as they teleport back. But I would expect to have a little bit of a gold advantage. As we do take a look at the gold, the Horizon Shadow, about 1,000 gold, 2,000 gold up, almost 2,000 gold up, which is quite impressive at 9 minutes.
Yeah, definitely a good start for them. It's what we expected to see coming out of the learning phase. Though. Oh, it's Pyro Tom. It's actually being pushed off from the Nunu. Oh, and it's an early smite.
Flash out from Pyro Tom. The equalizer's down though onto Pyro Tom, and the Cassiopeia as well down. No one's died yet. Ooh, and the Ornhorn's going down on the backside, but the Jin ult misses. The Arnold didn't re-engage. Looks like Impress has gone in, but without any team, gets stunned by Seraphine and just gets taken down. Very odd out of Impress there, not reactivating the Ornhorn or just sort of going in and dying.
I believe with the Call of the Forge God, I actually think the Senna route landed just as the second charge would have been applied. So, unluckily for Impress, he was unable to do that. Still quite a questionable engage on the back half of that. And pitching a tent's got to be so frustrated about that dragon situation. Smited to around 20 HP, where the Mundo was then able to steal it away. So a bit of a shame there, and a good team fight altogether for the Horizon Shadow team.
Yeah, the Pyro Tom's definitely in a nice situation with the Chem Tank finished already, whereas you look across to pitching a tent's just got the Balmy Cinder. So it's not looking great for this Nunu. Still 2 levels down, about 20 CS down, but he's going to gank the bot lane with the engage from the Orn. It flashes out from the Jin stun as we pan to mid lane, where it looks like it's trading going down, but the re-engage on the bot lane. So it looks like the farm picking a tent again. Senna's down, landed the machete. Feel like he's going to get burned down there, and that's kill over on the Mundo.
Yeah, very unfortunate series of events there for Roccet. As we see, Just a Weasel, he's going with the Apprehend. He's landed the 4 stacks, and he's going to back off once again. He's really letting Troll get away with a lot of the aggressive lunges forward into the Julie stance, but looks as though he's happy to just farm this up and move towards his mythic item. In the bot lane, unfortunately, Rock was unable to land his W off the Orn engage, which allowed Spike Spiegel to flash over that wall and avoid the Nunu engage. So a little bit of a shame there, so we'll have to keep an eye on their performance in the upcoming fight. As Cassiopeia is going to be pushed out of lane with just 1/3 health. It looks like, Petrifying Gaze. Will they burn down? Will they burn down? No.
Took a tower shot, and pitching tent is there for backup, but I would be raging if I was Cocaine Brownie now. Just literally about 10 HP there.
Yeah, just took a check. It was just below 50 HP as the Petrifying Gaze came in. Very, very good reaction times and mathematics there. The Apprehend again, and that's an early parry. And there we are, nothing doing here. And a lot of small scraps here, as both junglers are actually going to meet here.
Pitching a 10 goes straight onto Pyro Tom. The Burning Agony's put down, missed the cleaver, got the Nunu ult going down. Senna ult joins from bot lane, but the Noxian Guillotine onto Pyro Tom to finish him up before he can heal too much. So good kill onto Pyro Tom for the side of Roccet there.
Yeah, excellent combo of abilities there from the team. If I'm not correct, I believe Darius's Hemorrhage also
applies to Grievous.
Yeah, I believe it does. So the healing from the Mundo is not coming through as effectively as Pyro Tom would like. So that is a nice Nice little trick there for the top lane.
Yes, got nice 2 kills onto Just a Weasel now, so he's going to be feeling quite happy, just chunking Trollolulu out there. Cancelled the back, going to stick around as the minions crash into the turret. Just a bit of reset on the map as Power Tom comes back out. Pitching Tent picks up their blue. This Rumble pick is looking decent. Hasn't really done a lot at the moment though.
Yeah, both mid laners are happy scaling up here, I think, towards their mythics. Looks as if the Cassiopeia's finished the Leandries first, especially not having to buy the boots, which the Rumble has gone for instead. Looks as though we might have a team fight building up here, though, as both sides are trying to gain dominance over this river before the second dragon.
Yeah, just clearing wards from Pitching Tent there. The Spike Spiegel just poking down both the Nunu. A bit of trading on in the mid lane with Pyroton hanging round, but it looks like the Roccet is just going more towards the bot side before this dragon spawns.
Yeah, we have 15 seconds on dragon, both top laners with teleport, both mid laners with teleport. Be interesting to see how much priority is put on it. I think if you're on Roccet's side feeling a little bit behind, you don't have to overcommit for this really. Although it looks like they're going to be the ones to move first. Pyro Tom moves towards the top side of the map. Sorry.
Looks like they're not going to contest this Drake. It is, but they've got the drag onto a very clean kill onto Cassiopeia there. No flash, just straight Demassing guillotine. Very nice for Just a Weasel, who heads back to the top lane as Trollolulu just didn't follow him and managed to catch out Licanum.
One call the port here into the snowball.
Misses the snowball.
Seraphim, but nothing else coming from it. Oh, and it's the Seraphim ultimate into this room, and we're going to the top lane. Sorry, I'm not going to talk about that anymore. Will we see Just a Weasel go down? It looks like he's going to get...
Oh my god, Trollolulu goes down instead. Pyrotom's diving the Darius here, but it looks like he's just going to go down as well. Just a Weasel. We've got the Gino on the bot side, flash out from the center.
Teleport from the Cassiopeia though.
And the Sentinel to clean up, impress, but we've got Pitching Tent coming to get onto the Seraphim. Will he be able to pick that up? Flash, chomp, yep, picks that up. Will now Pitching Tent be able to get out as Senna goes onto him? Looks like, ooh, Cassiopeia's coming down. Hopefully they just go onto him. Trying to snowball away, but probably not going to get away. That was decently played by Pitching Tent though, to make sure not to give any an assist gold onto the Cassiopeia. But a mad series of events. So what was that? 2 kills in the top lane for the side of onto the Darius for Roccet. But then also Jin goes down, Nunu goes down, and Ornn goes down in the bot lane for Roccet as well. So it's 2 for 3 across the map, I believe.
I think 3 for 3. I think the Seraphim went down as well. So it is even over the series of events, but so much gold going into Just a Weasel. It's really becoming Just a Weasel versus X-Strider in this game, as he is going to be going for another trade. That's an early parry, so you'd have to think the Apprehend is going to come out, but no, he's happy to go back to the lane. You can see this early stride breaker is doing so much work, and I wish we could have had a replay of the solo kill onto the Cassiopeia. It was a wonderful stride breaker into a sidestep of the Cassiopeia. There's the Apprehend, and he's just going to lunge himself away. But clearly, just entire lane priority now goes to the Darius, 2 levels up, and an awful lot of items as well.
5 kills on the Darius at 16 minutes. Only 1 kill, apart from that, happening on the other side of the map for Roccet. So it is literally the Darius show at this point.
Yeah, and Cookie and Brownie not getting involved in any of the fights in that scenario. As the Cassiopeia teleported down, they were able to just push in the mid wave and try to get some damage on the mid tower. It'd be interesting to see whether they utilize that teleport of the Rumble in any better way than how the Cassiopeia has. Otherwise, it feels like a bit of a missed opportunity.
There's just a bit of trading in the top lane. Trollolulu's getting pushed under turrets, trying to poke onto him, but not really getting anything. Again, bot lane for Shadow, Horizon Shadow has pushed in again, but just a couple of back and forth trades across the map as the junglers. Pyrotom actually backs, and Pitching Tent just picks up the Gromp.
Yeah, I'd love to see Pyrotom just shadowing that top lane there, as they expected Just a Weasel to get a little overconfident and go for the dive. But nothing happening, but just able to recall there. So I really like that play, as we're going to see Pitching Tent with a very ambitious snowball here. looks like it's not going to achieve an awful lot. And Pyro Tom's going to come and match it, but I think everything will just reset here.
Yeah, just pitch your turn. Moving up, we've got the Darius going in on the Trollolulu again. Got the full stack, got the drag there, very late drag, which is very good. But Nocturne Guillotine doesn't actually come out, but Trollolulu, I feel like they probably could have killed Trollolulu there. Yeah, look how low they are now. It would have burnt away, but just a Weasel not committing, and so Trollolulu gets out with a sliver of health. Stride Breaker into drag, into spin, and there we've got the W just to finish it up.
Yeah, very overconfident from Trollolulu there to stay around and try pick up that wave. We're just seeing the advantage extended here. Both mid laners still farming up, very even, as the bot lane likely going to pick up the full tower before 20 minutes here.
Got the Seraphine up just to zone them off so they didn't re-engage, but towers traded across the map. More gold going into Horizon there as they did pick up the first turret gold, but just a Weasel getting even more gold with picking up solo tower gold in there. But pitching tent going on to Lacan. The Jin W goes wide, but we do get the flash out from Cassiopeia anyway.
Yeah, Pyro Tom just sitting behind and waiting here, just biding his time.
Going on to pitching the tent. Very tanky, but got the center ult. Not center ult, the center W. Nunu ult. Pyro Tom is also healing up. Cocaine Brownie getting caught out. X-Trigger seems to be in the middle of the team fight though, but he does take out the Nunu first. And we've got just a Weasel joining as well, picking up the Seraphine. Can't get onto the Cassiopeia, but that was a 2-for-1 in favour of Roccet there.
Yeah, we finally see Cocaine Brownie getting forward, an excellent equaliser, and then the flash into the Q before using that stopwatch. It was a little overconfident. I don't think he's quite farmed up to the level of items that he wants to be at. But otherwise, it's still second dragon at 20 minutes over to Roccet.
Yeah, we're going to be getting an Earth Soul out, which I feel does... Both sides can have the advantage of it, but I feel like Roccet probably favour it a bit more with the Nunu, Darius and the Beyond there, all getting the tanky stats.
Yeah, I think both sides would have preferred to have seen an Ocean Soul coming out, so this probably actually favours Horizon Shadow, because they don't really feel like they have to run into that Dragon Pit every time to stop Roccet getting that soul. I think if they get Mountain Soul, it's not the worst thing in the world, whereas if it had been an Ocean Soul, they would have felt as though they really had to fight for every dragon. So, they're probably not feeling too bad about losing that second rate.
Yeah, just the reset out after the Dragon Soul there with Spike Spiegel just picking up some wards, getting this vision cleared in the bot side of the jungle. Let's have a look at items. So we've got Mythics across the board and Roccet apart from Ornn, but on the side of Horizon we've got Mythics across the board, so the Moonstone Viewer has been picked up for the Seraphine. Got the Senna onto the Senna and Seraphine, just chunking out Roccet impressed to half. Just fighting over wards here really. With Pyro Tom very speedy going in on the Rumble. Challenges might down, have to pop the ult onto Pyro Tom, but Pyro Tom is burning away. We've got Trollolulu joining. Equalizer does go down, and the Seraphine ult picks up the Nunu and the Impress. And that's 2 quick kills onto the side of Horizon Shadow, and it looks like they're just turning to the Baron.
Yeah, Cocaine Brownie caught out a little bit there, trying to get some damage onto Pyro Tom. Not quite got it, managed to overheat, which really didn't help the situation, but Cassiopeia is going to hold this bot lane, so Darius can't get anything as they get the Baron, it looks like, at 22 minutes. We'll have to see if the Jin's going to walk to try and take this. We're going to see the Call of the Forge God go through. Just, nice parry there from Trollolulu. Here's the ultimate from Jin. Are we going to see a steal? No, it looks like they're going to block everything very nicely, and Senna gets to pick up the 2 free stacks.
Yeah, very nice coming out from Horizon Shadow. It did look quite dicey at the beginning, Pyro Tom going very low very quickly, but obviously being the Mundo. Had a lot of healing out, and apart from the Darius, no real grievous wounds. We've got some on the Nunu, but he wasn't fighting the Nunu at the time, so would have been just healing to his full amount pretty much there in that fight. Does manage to take down 2 and the Baron, so Horizon Shadow in a very nice spot.
Yeah, they picked up the Oblivion up, and we're going to see the Equalizer here. Trollolulu very low on mana. It looks as though he's going to go down here.
No, we've got the Baron minions keeping too much damage onto Cocaine Brownie. Did get the Senna ult down. Stride Breaker and Snowball in the bot lane. Gets the drag onto the Cassiopeia. Got the Nunu ult, got the spin and the dunk. Looks like the Cassiopeia goes down quite nicely there. 8 kills onto this Darius.
Yeah, have to question why the ultimate didn't come out from the Cassiopeia there. It looks like they were just charging up for it at the last second, but could have been a way to stop the Nunu engage at the last second there, and maybe slide away. But otherwise, still very nice play from pitching a tent and Just Weasel. But yeah, the Cassiopeia is at 2 items now, plus the needlessly large rod that's just been purchased, so they're not feeling too bad about the situation.
No, Cassiopeia I don't think has had the focus that they probably want to, but across on the other side of the lane as well, Cocaine Brownie not having a nice time either. It is very much about Darius versus Pyrotom, Senna, and Seraphine.
Yeah, I really think both of these mid laners are just here as like a late game insurance. While the key damage is actually coming from Senna and Darius. I'm surprised actually to see Just Weasel take that recall there. That could have potentially been a free kill onto the Fiora, although he is without the Noxious guillotine, so perhaps feeling like he doesn't fully win that one-on-one.
Yeah, we've got the third Drake, what would be the third Drake coming up for Roccet in 45 seconds. We'll see if Horizon Shadow do contest this or if they just give it up, leave it for Soul Point. I feel like they probably could win as we saw last time, could win a team fight. Especially if you focus onto the Darius, got the Mundo in the front line. And looks like we've got a quick pause here. So we just take stock of what's happening at the moment.
Yeah, so we've got a 4K advantage at the moment to Horizon Shadow, 24 minutes in. But the Drake advantage is currently with Roccet. So we've got 25 seconds until that spawns. It looks as though Horizon Shadow are actually in the better position to set up for that, but nobody's out on the side lane. Everyone really wants to be involved in this fight.
I feel like we're going to get quite a huge team fight here.
Oh, certainly.
Yeah, Roccet could give it up as well. Would go to 2-2 if they don't feel like they're in a good position. But as we see, the Darius is on the bot side of the game. Looks like the pause has just finished now. We are getting back into game. So we see Pyrotom hiding in a bush. Just a Weasel might be able to pick up Spike's Deagle here. Yeah, got the splash out from the Seraphine. Will they re-engage onto it? There's just a bit of poke, but that was nice out of the Darius getting there somewhere for free.
Yeah, and we can see Roccet here. Oh, it's actually going to be the Nunu going in onto the Cassiopeia and knock up from the on, and it's already down.
Equalizer's down. We've got the Nunu ult as well. We've got just a Weasel just running amok in the middle of the team. We've got the on-horn down and the Jin ult. This is a very nice fight from Roccet, picking up 4 kills. And what you assume would be the Drake, Trollolulu having to run for the hills, but just a Weasel, flashing, spinning. That's 3 kills onto the Darius, an ace, and the Drake. You gotta feel good for Roccet.
This is exactly what we spoke about in the draft. We said Roccet, they want to play around the objectives, they want to play around the team fights. We see Call of the Forge God into the Rumble ultimate, into the Jin ultimate, and just the Weasels just spinning through the entire group with the Ornn knockups. It's perfectly played and perfectly placed by the Roccet teams, and they're even to pick up the ace with Just Weasel picking up Trollolulu on the back end of it. You have to, they must be feeling bad that Baron isn't up right now because they could have fully been able to go over there and take it.
Yeah, so that all started with the catch onto Licalm 18 in the mid lane there, getting just a full CC down, couldn't do anything. Got the I can't actually remember what started it, but then the Jin W, you had the Q and the E from the on to knock up, but by that time pretty much dead. Didn't even had flash up still, didn't have time to flash out. Got the Nunu ult down with the Ornn and the Jin ults on top, just to have a devastating fight.
Yeah, and almost equalising out the gold here as well. Only about a K behind now. We spoke about scaling earlier, so it's going to be interesting to see how this goes now. The Senna currently sitting at 50 stacks. Not too bad. We see an awful lot higher amount from the fasting Senna, which they clearly didn't want to go for. But still, the range with the rapid fire cannon, it's going to be obnoxious from now. Pyrotom here sitting out of vision, and there we are going to get an engage onto the Pyro, pitching a 10, sorry. And the Jin W is going to land to stop the engage.
Yeah, it's quite trying to get vision down, chunking out, pitching a 10, but he's Nunu. We can just go chomp on some. But it doesn't look like any of his camps are up at the moment, so his red buff has cuts just spawned, so it looks like...
it looks as though we're going to have a 3v3 over the red buff here.
Yeah. We've got the Sentinel down onto Ornn and Jin. Cassiopeia ult on the Equalizer is dropped, but as does Jin. Got the Sentinel down just to make sure it gets everyone on the way back. But we see what happens when they fire without just a Weasel. But obviously, they knew they were there. They saw the blue ward go down. So, yeah, not a good fight there for Roccet with picking up onto the Jin.
No, we said that we wanted to see Roccet play around the objectives, but I was not talking about the red buff. That wasn't the objective that you wanted to be working around. So, especially as that's cost Just Weasel the teleport now, so he's going to have to group with his team in 2 minutes' time for this Soul Drake fight. Not going to be able to be off in that side lane, which the Fiora is going to have the luxury of going into the next 2 to 3 minutes. So, yeah, a bit of a disappointment there. Spike Spiegel, though, with the excellent encore, landing onto 2 or 3 members, most notably onto the Jhin. So, excellent play there from the support.
Yeah, we will be seeing some Iron items in a minute though. Level 12 on the Ornn for Impress. Hasn't really some very good ults coming out from Impress though to win us some team fights. So we'll have to see how good. I imagine the first Ornn item's got to go onto just a Weasel though.
Oh, for sure, yeah. So level 13, the Locket of the Iron Solari will automatically upgrade for Ornn, and then from each level thereon, they can level up an ally's mythic.
Yeah, so the Locket will go into a Forge Fire Crest, which, if you're playing top lane of, is a decent first item. So you would see that coming out from them, and the Stridebreaker goes into a Dream Shatterer, which is quite a cool name, I think.
Yeah, I have not heard that one. So yeah, that is quite an easy to remember one as well. If I remember correctly, the Zephyr the Gale Force item is very confusing. I might just take a quick look at that.
It's called Typhoon.
Oh, Typhoon, isn't it? No, it's not that. I think it's the Eclipse one. It's an incredibly unusual...
Blood Ward.
Oh, maybe it isn't that
it's
one.
It's the Kraken. You can think of the Kraken Slayer. But as we see the pitch intent going on to Lulu, got the very nice play to stop the WL block there, but it looks like it might just be down. Got to commit the Ornn ultimate as well. Got the dash out, misses the Ornn ultimate, but finished off with the Gale Force.
Yeah, I think, placed it in a nice position in case the Fiora was going to flash out. The flash was only around 5-10 seconds away from being up, but that really isn't good for Horizon Shadow going into this Soul fight. Like I said, they might not feel too bad about giving up a Mountain Soul, but it's definitely going to be a lot of power towards Roccet.
Yeah, I think you're talking about the Kraken Slayer. It's called Wormfallen Sacrifice.
Oh, okay. Yeah, there's some very, very unusual names for these Ornn items. Thankfully, we're only going to see 5 different ones. Not going to have to go through the full roster, but only 5 seconds on this dragon. I don't see any way outside of a Miracle Steel that Horizon Shadow should be able to get this. Weasel's just going to play Gatekeeper, and it looks like they're just going to give it up. Yeah,
it doesn't look like Pyrotom's even contesting at this point. He's just sort of doing his club, moved on to his Raptors. So yeah, Dragon there, Soul Point, Earth Soul for Roccet.
Yeah, so we're probably going to see Roccet try and pick up the pace of this game a little bit now with Baron being up. Going to want to prioritize Vision around that. Maybe send Darius off into the side lane.
And we got the Trollolulu teleport. I think they do know it. The Impress is there. Yeah, he's got the red ward, so they definitely know about that. Looks like they're picking up. Going on to Kitchen 10. Got the 9 Equalizer down. Got the Encore down as well. The Sentinel coming down with Ornn Shadow. Got the flash forward with the flash into spin into Dr. Guilty. Down onto 2 for just the Weasel. Get passing off. He's got going on to the 3. Looks like Equalizer down. Got the Jhin to clean up one of them. And what looks pretty good start off with Horizon Shadows. Absolutely devastating. 4 kills down. Did manage to pick up the jungler, but looks like Baron's going to go for the Roccet here.
Yeah, there we are. There's that pick-up in pace. I wasn't expecting it to be Horizon Shadow that started the Baron, but they clearly felt as though they could turn and have a nice fight coming after it. It was an excellent encore coming out from the Seraphine, landed onto 4 people, but they just did not have the damage to follow up.
No, they managed to pick up pitch in a 10 with the Senna ultimate, but then just a Weasel. He's so strong, so strong. Just absolutely decimated their entire team.
Yeah, 4 items on the Darius here, including, you know, the Sterax +2 defensive item, now even going the Bramble, so, you know, has a huge amount of damage, but it's so difficult for this Horizon Shadow team to take down. And I think we're seeing one of the problems here with the Horizon Shadow comp is that they are lacking, you know, enough burst damage, really. The Senna, you know, is able to pump out the heals and do damage over time, but you know, we're not even seeing Cassiopeia being involved in these fights, really. She's been pushed off to the side, zoned away by these large-scale ultimates from the side of Roccet.
I feel you can feel like what you want the Horizon Dawn want to do. They want to take these very long extended fights, get out as many heals as you can, do the extended damage from the Cassiopeia, the burn damage. We've got the Senna doing loads of damage over time, but they're not getting it because Just a Weasel is so strong. He's just diving onto the backline, can easily take out 3 of them just on his own, as we saw in our last fight. So as we see them push down onto this tier 2 in the mid lane, doesn't look like they'll be able to contest it.
No, Just Weasel just tanking up the tower with that mountain shield. It looks as though they're going to go for a little bit of an engage onto the Cassiopeia again.
We've got the Petrifying Gaze down on, but it looks like Pitcher Tent went a bit too deep there. From Choralulu teleport as well. It looks like they're going to re-engage Pyrotom and Choralulu and to press, but the drag out equalizer. We've got the Jin in the back line. Ornn going quite low. Flash forward out from Rock. We've got the turn and burn here from Roccet, and they're pushing back. What looked like a great kill on Pitching the Tent. They just overextended. Thought they might be able to get some kills, but they are just so tanky with that Earth Soul.
Yeah, certainly. Again, brilliant encore from Spike Spiegel to cancel the Shinnle, but in the end, it's a great turn from Cocaine Brownie with the equalizer on the backline. And are they going to try and end here, Spitfire?
It looks like it. They've got the Stride Breaker out there from Just a Weasel. He's been tanking up a lot. Both Nexus turrets are down, and Pyrotom and Spike Spiegel they can't do anything. Looks like this is just going to be another equalizer down, and that is game. And we have a win for Roccet. Interesting game there, but quite clean out from Roccet in the end there.
Yeah, definitely. It was a good performance in the team fights from Roccet. That's their first win of the season. I believe they went 0-2 last week. So, you know, their spirits must be certainly lifted from that, particularly going up against a team that has yet to lose. But we'll see if there's going to be any changes in draft going into game 2.
Yeah, I don't know if you want to get rid of the Darius per se, say ban it out. maybe try and pick a stronger laner than the Fiora. But obviously we did see the adjustment. They thought they were going for the Ornn, and the Darius comes out. So we'll have to see if that affects things going into next game. But as that game has just finished, I believe we're going to just take a quick break, and then we'll get into game 2. Anything else to add?
No. See you guys soon.
Ooh, thank you. Hello, hello, and welcome back to the second game of Horizon Shadow versus Team Roccet. With Team Roccet looking quite impressive in that first game, especially just a Weasel going absolutely dominant on the Darius.
Yeah, incredible performance there from the top laner. Trollaloo really having a hard time up against that Darius, despite having the early jungle attention from Pyro Tom. But we'll have to see what happens moving into the second game with the draft priority here.
Yeah, I don't think it was particularly a bad draft out of Horizon Shadow, but as we said, there was no burst damage to really get rid of the Darius. And not a huge amount of hard CC. You've got the ultimates coming out from the Cassiopeia and the Senna, but they're not the Senna, the Seraphine, sorry. So the Darius just run absolutely rampage in that game.
Yeah, I think we'll definitely see the jungle bands continues to dominate. So yeah, there we see the Viego going out against them and the Fiddlestick. So everything's the same so far.
Yeah, we'll have to see where the pivot is because obviously the Ornn going into the support role was a flex pick that no one expected, especially Horizon Shadow. It seems as they picked Fiora, which was a decent match into the Ornn bug, absolutely whammied by the Darius. Anivia coming out from the side of Horizon there, and the Gnar, both same bands from the first rotation of last time.
Yeah, definitely the Ornn pick was really the key to unlocking that that top lane matchup. Still not particularly a huge fan of it, given how far the Ornn falls behind in lane, and I think that Horizon Shadow could have dominated that matchup an awful lot more. So we'll see if they're a bit more prepared for it this time around, as the Yone and the Seraphine are going to be taken away.
Yeah,
Interesting to see Horizon Shadow take away the Seraphine, given it was their first pick last game. But there's going to be the Udyr first pick.
Yeah, that's interesting. Coming out for Pyro Tom, we have to assume could be flexed. We don't know, but more than likely going to go into that jungle position. But the Yone coming out from Roccet, I didn't see it last game. Wasn't even banned. And the Sejuani counter. Sejuani, decent jungler. Not really top tier, but can get very tanky and always good with the CC ultimate.
Yeah, again, a solid pick or team fight jungler. But can shut down the Udyr certainly, but we'll see where that goes as the Thresh is going to be locked in for Impress. This is something that we saw them hinting at perhaps picking in the first game, so I think it's definitely something that Impress is comfortable on.
It does look like we're going to get some crazy shenanigans with the draft again. These two seem very certain in their positions at the moment. And we get the Blitzcrank out for Spike. Good, decent pick. Nice, going to be looking for those picks.
This was something I was really looking forward to seeing Spike Spiegel playing, taking a look at his season so far, over 100 games played in the ranked season already, and has played, almost entirely engaged supports, with Blitzcrank having over 20 games on, Thresh, Leona. So I was surprised by the Seraphine because that doesn't seem to be their bread and butter when it comes to solo queue. So I'm very happy to see them on something that can be a bit more impactful, especially paired with a Kai'Sa, which is going to scale wonderfully into the late game.
Yeah, Kai'Sa probably, it depends who you ask, but one of the strongest, if not the strongest ADC at the moment. Ezreal getting picked out, who was a good AD carry, but got buffed this patch. So looking good. Decent, both bot lanes and junglers locked in here for both sides. Both different styles to what they were playing last game.
Yeah, very nice buff came through for Ezreal. Damage ratio was increased on his Q, so it's now 130% from 120. We saw Kai'Sa was actually able to escape any nerfs on patch 11.3, which was to the surprise of an awful lot of people. There's the Darius ban that we thought might come through against Just Weasel, as Roccet have also taken away the Wukong. So it looks like pinching the top lane is the priority for both teams here.
Yeah, obviously with the Sejuani locked in, and the Galio going down from the mid lane. It's a good pick at the moment. Full AP Galio tends to be what people go towards. Quite impressive. Obviously got that global ultimate to join everything. So it feels like maybe Roccet will pick their mid laner here, and looks like they've got something in mind for the Galio ban.
Yeah, it'll be interesting. Both Cassiopeia and Rumble still available, but we didn't see an awful lot of effectiveness come out of the Cassiopeia, as we're going to see a Shen ban over against Just Weasel. So 2 top lane bans there coming from Horizon Shadow, and it looks like the Ornn pick this time might be going up towards the top lane, so they really still want to play around that team fight effectiveness. But we'll wait to see what gets locked in.
Yeah, they are hovering the on. Good pick. I feel like they will need quite a lot of damage coming in the mid lane there because Ezreal does a lot of damage, but he's quite pokey. Oh, but no, last minute swap to the Azir. Good late game pick. See, after Cocaine Brownie can have a bit more of an effect on this Azir pick.
Yeah, definitely needed some more damage in this composition. The Azir's certainly going to provide that in the late game, but it is a very tricky champion to get that damage off in early and mid game fights. We'll see which mid and top are going to get locked in now for Horizon Shadow. Let's see what Extraiger locks in. It's going to be the Syndra, so a bit more of a control mage moving into the mid lane this time. So going to be a little easier to be effective in fights. And now Spike Spiegel will be locking in the top lane, you would assume, for Horizon Shadow.
Yeah, I'd maybe like to see. Well, they could really go anywhere. Got the tank in the Udyr, got some pick with the Blitzcrank. They are having the Akali. Decent pick, but switch to the Camille, which I feel like is a better pick there in the top lane, and we'll see what Roccet respond with into the Camille.
Yeah, again, Camille, one of those champions that has managed to escape the nerf list on patch 11.3, much to the surprise of an awful lot of people. I know Cadril was tweeting about it recently, but it'll be interesting to see what they take up against that. Is Just Weasel going to show him how it's done with the Fiora? No, it's going to be an Alawi lock-in, so even more damage coming out of that top lane.
Yeah, so again, Roccet with the clear, we want to team fight you. We want to get ahead and we want to just snowball over you like we did last game. The Alawi does a very similar job to the Darius, even better in team fights, I'd say, with the ultimate. And if you just get ahead, just can't kill her.
Yeah, I have to say, if there was any champion that I would personally want removed from the game, it is Alawa. It is a champion I hate laning against. Really frustrating with that test of spirit, pulling out the soul, and causing such a slow and harass from the multiple tentacles that are going to prop up around the map. So we'll see how Trolloloo manages to fare in that matchup.
Yeah, we're getting the same style of pick going out from Trolloloo again with the Camille as the Fiora. They both want to do the same thing, just be that split push menace. But I feel like Camille's probably stronger than the Fiora, so we'll see if Trolloloo can have a better game because they really didn't show up on the Fiora.
Yeah, it was disappointing to see. I don't feel like Trollolulu. I think I had an extra Lou there, but we'll go with it. Didn't really play around the split push potential of Fiora. Was often grouping for the team fights. I would like to see them move off into the side lanes more often. Particularly given we saw Just Weasel, wasting the teleport in fights like the one around Red Buff. I think he could really use that teleport advantage to get some extra money with the standing towers on the map. So again, I would like to see that coming out from the Camille, given that that is something that Camille excels in. But if he does want to join the team fights, it can be a little bit more effective than the Fiora. It does provide the CC with the hookshot wall dive, as well as the Hextech ultimatum, which will be able to single out something like the Azir or the Ezreal.
Yeah, I feel like the Blitzcrank is going to have an interesting game and impress. Maybe not the best of time as being the only one without movement, apart from the Alawi, but obviously you don't particularly want to hook the Alawi into your team with the ultimate going down. Just so many tentacles. So hopefully Spike Spiegel can have a good game. Maybe get some tricky shots onto the Ezreal and the Azir, but obviously a lot of movement out there from them.
Yeah, it is going to be very difficult to lock down one of these priority targets for the Blitzcrank, but it's going to be down to whether the likes of the Ezreal will be able to land those buffers with the dash away, which your more experienced Ezreal players will be able to pull off. So definitely is going to be Hook City down in the bottom lane. We've got the old school Thresh versus Blitzcrank matchup. So we'll definitely see who's got the higher accuracy in this matchup.
Yeah, Pyrotom's going to be just quite unstoppable. He's obviously did get a bit of a nerf this patch, but still, at least Pyrotom thinks decently strong. Going to be running that chem tank, just going to be running buffer for them. To be honest, the nerf wasn't actually that bad. All it was a Phoenix stance nerf, so his damage has got attacked a bit and his clear speed, but the tankiness that people were picking him for not going to be affected.
Yeah, still, it was just the aura damage as well. So the actual initial hit and flare of the Phoenix stance is still there. So I imagine the clear speed is only going to be slightly behind. Obviously, it was the champion was in a ridiculously strong state where it could even, out jungle clear the likes of Olaf that have previously always been that top tier in terms of jungle clear. So it'll be interesting to see, a similar play style to the Mundo. Really just wants to run people down, likely with the turbo chem tank.
Yeah, I don't think Paraton particularly had a bad game last game. Just on the Mundo, there's not a lot you can do if you get put behind.
Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of the Mundo pick personally. I think, once you get past that sort of 25-minute mark, I think it's so difficult to have a strong effect on the game. And even though there wasn't the likes of a Vayne or something that really shreds tanks on the side of Roccet, the Jhin was able to do, just enough with all the CC around.
Yeah, so coming into this game too, we obviously want Horizon Shadow. They want to bounce back. Being the two-time reigning champs, they're not looking good being 1-0 down to Roccet, but we'll see if their mental is strong enough to obviously come back as we get into game. Here, we're just going to have the quick pause soon, where we'll get everything sorted out, so we'll be with you shortly.
Yeah, fingers crossed we'll see the first 3 minutes of this game. We'll really be able to watch the clear.
Probably interesting game. Roccet, see if they can take the 2-0, see if we can get.
Yep.
And here we are as we get onto Summoner's Race for Game 2 of Horizon Shadow versus Team Roccet, with Team Roccet having the 1-0 win. Let's see what happens as the teams spread out.
Yeah, and it'll be interesting to see if there is going to be an invade from either team here. Obviously, you've got Blitzcrank and Thresh, two of the best invade champions in the game, but it doesn't look like either team really wants to be taking anything risky at this point.
No, we've got nothing particularly, just sort of this defensive line across. Got some wards out from Team Roccet, just positioning.
I'm very interested in the. Sorry to interrupt you this. I'm just very interested in the summoner spell choices here that we're seeing. So we've got the exhaust coming out from the Ezreal from Rock and the cleanse coming out from Kai'Sa. So very scared clearly of this Sejuani and Thresh combo. I'm not so sure about the exhaust. Makes sense perhaps into Syndra, Udyr, but let's see if they regret not taking the heal in this matchup.
Maybe with the Camille diving onto them as well. But I feel like maybe the heal could have been better, but we'll see. See if Rock obviously knows something we don't. So we'll see how this plays out. Looks like a blue side start for both junglers. We do have Spike Spiegel and Extrigo just positioned in the river bush, maybe looking for a quick hook. Try and burn a flash, maybe.
Yeah, they've got that ward. Oh, here it is. It's going to go on to Rock. There it is.
And straight flash out. Very nice from Spike, already having that early impact.
Yeah, and this is what you get when you take that slightly greedier route back to lane instead of walk around to go past the Gromp. There's no risk of this happening, so being punished a little bit for some greediness there.
Yeah, it does mean that Spike and Extrigo managed to get the early lane advantage on. With the Blitzcrank hook is still quite high cooldown at the moment, so maybe they don't have to play so far back. With Chololulu getting the level 2, getting the hook shot onto just a Weasel. Sorry, I cannot speak today, apparently. Taking him down to just 1 bar health left. So very nice trade out from Chololulu, already showing up.
Yeah, getting that early level advantage means an awful lot in this matchup. Looks like just a Weasel's going to try and hold it off the wave to try and keep it in a nice position for themselves. But we'll see whether Chololulu is able to push this under the tower. Doesn't look like they're going to be able to, but we'll head back over down to the bot lane where it doesn't look like they've been able to punish that early flash too much. I'll just have a quick check. I imagine Ezreal has taken the arcane shift, so can now start buffering those Blitzcrank teams.
Yeah, we'll have to see what Spike managed to get out. Does get the soul leech onto the Camille there, just diving out from it. Getting some decent trades, but we'll get to see a hook onto Extrigo. Not followed up though, so some decent damage on, takes it down to about half HP, but nothing else, didn't really commit to it.
Yeah, we are seeing the Kai'Sa take the free biscuit, so just going to regen that up. And Hook's going to miss, so no worries there. As we see the top lane's kind of evening out now health-wise. Trolloloo just having that slight CS advantage. It's important to know, though, has burned all of the pot, corruption pot for the Alawi, whilst the Camille still has the option. Oh, the Udyr here, pop ghost, hookshot wall down. He's going to miss with the flash, but still going to be able to take down Just a Weasel for first blood.
Yeah, nice flash out from Just a Weasel, but once the flashed out, Udyr just ran him down. Took the ghost, so just Speedy Bear came up, just slapped him, stunned him up, couldn't really do anything. Nice first kill on Horizon Shadow. As what happened last game, but got flashed down, got the hook onto Rock Impress, as there is also a fight in the mid lane. Got some damage down. Looks like, ooh, flash out from Cocaine Brownie as Pyro Tom was also there. This man is everywhere.
Yeah, it looks like he's going to get the bottom scuttle as well. Going to pop the shield of the Scuttle Crab, and really dominant from Pyro Tom so far this game. Looks like he's going to invade as well. Maybe catch out the Sejuani.
Ooh, Trolloloo was playing this match really well. Ooh, hook onto Impress, having to flash out. Ignite is down, and flash forward from X-Trigger, got the hook. Last minute dive just to go down, but Walk does manage to trade onto X-Trigger for Impress. So it was a 1-for-1 there. Summoner's burn on both sides. Looks like everything's down on Horizon Shadows, and just Ignite left for Impress. So I feel like Jungle is probably going to be around there. Pyrotom is hovering around. Trolloloo going again onto Just a Weasel. You feel like Just a Weasel might actually go down here. No flash. Nope, doesn't decide to push too hard. Don't really have vision on the Sejuani, so maybe not trying to push it too much.
Yeah, interesting trade there in the bot lane. Both the support of Roccet falling for the AD carry of Horizon Shadow. Very aggressive by X-Striger, flashing in for the final auto to take down the Thresh, but excellently played by Rock, landing each Q and W from the Ezreal to just take down the Kai'Sa. So you have to think, probably not feeling too bad about that trade all in all.
No, you get the gold onto the Ezreal, who is slightly down in CS a little bit, about 5-6 down. But obviously, Kai'Sa going down, got some solo XP onto Rock, so I don't feel Rock feels like too bad. But hook down, as we speak, hook down onto Rock, and it looks like he... Oh, the auto attack from X-Trigger just follows him down there with the flash of the 7 from Spike Speed going out there.
Yeah, it's disappointing to see from Rock. I'm really surprised to not see him take a quick recall to be able to spend the gold from that kill while the Kai'Sa was out of the game. So then just got pushed straight back on the tower. You're never going to win a trade from that point onwards, given that the Kai'Sa's got the Moon Quiver. Oh, hookshot wall dive top. Oh, into a nice stun from Just Weasel. It will be the Hextech ultimate to dodge the tentacles. And let's see if Udyr can come in and take it down. There it is. There's the kill over to the Udyr. And it looks like they're going to take down the Sejuani as well. And the minion damage. There it is. Double kill over to Trolloloo. Cocaine Brownie can only turn up just too late to have an effect on the game. Yeah. But brilliant 2v2 in the top lane from Trolloloo and Pyro.
Trolloloo hadn't even backed yet. Still just sitting on that dying ability. We see Cocaine Brownie, just the hook going from Spike Speed goes wide. But yeah, Trolloloo playing that very well. Almost went down, but didn't finish that. It's the Sheen and that goes into the half-bound axe that goes into the Stridebreaker, I believe. So looking very good from Trolloloo, who didn't have the best game last game, but looking very strong coming into game 2.
Yeah, done an excellent job holding Just Weasel off the CS here. You can see 23 CS at 7 minutes into the game. Only sitting on that Ruby Crystal on a long sword, so things are feeling really bad for Just Weasel in that top lane. We'll have to see. No, it's all right. Yeah, I think instead of the Stridebreaker, it'll actually be the Trinity Force. So another hookshot wall dive, 2 levels up right now on the Camille, and it's a huge chunk onto Just Weasel, who wasn't able to land the Spirit Grasp from the Alawi to get a decent trade back. Yeah, I think it's definitely going to be the Trinity Force coming out from the Camille with that item combination. As it looks as though we're going to see the hook onto Impress, although he didn't expect... Oh no, it's actually going to be a kill down. Let's see if they can get the return kill onto the Blitzcrank. They can. That's going to go over to Rock. But the Udyr has turned up. Going to get the stun onto the Ezreal. Can X-Striker have enough damage? No, it's going to be a flash out from the Ezreal. There is the Sejuani stun onto the Udyr, but he's going to crawl away with the exhaust on him. And it looks as though they're going to part ways there. And we're just checking in on the mid lane. not a huge amount happening.
Apologies for that. I just had a bit of a coughing fit. We'll ignore that. Oh, we got the Killer Instinct out from X-Trigger. The ultimate the Arcane Barrage onto X-Trigger, who does get taken down as well, but 1-for-1 trade there. I don't know if, because the X-Trigger had a shutdown there. So more gold going on to Rock there. We get Spike Spiegel in the mid lane. Ooh, the buffer there. And he misses the point blank hook due to the stun coming out from the Syndra. Expected him to go with the Streamer Shuffle, but not catching him, which is very much a shame for Spike.
Yeah, Brownie's able to get away with a miracle just there. But no, like you were saying, I like the trade for Rock down in the bot lane. He's able to get the shutdown goal back. Oh, so we're going to see the Sejuani going up for a fight. Doesn't look like much is going to happen here, although they are sending the Blitzcrank up to potentially dive the Alawi. Just Weasel wants to get them right out of there. Yeah,
we do see the Alawi and the Sejuani push straight off. Yeah, pitching a 10. Again, not having the best early game. Being run around by Pyro Tom, who seems to just have the run of the map at the moment, as they do go on to Rift Herald, I believe. So they're just going to take that down with Horizon Shadow. With Spike Spiegel up there as well. Got Impress just in the bottom half of the jungle, not being able to do a lot, with X-Trigger just being pushed on the turret.
Yeah, and we saw a little bit of over-aggression from Spike Spiegel in that bottom lane play. They would have been able to see that Sejuani was on the bot side of the map as they were caught on a control ward, but instead just decided to run in and try and get the hook onto the Thresh. You know, eventually it worked out for pretty much just a 1-for-1, but you know, you perhaps think maybe a little bit overconfident there from the bot lane and gave some unnecessary gold over to the Ezreal.
Yeah, we get the Licons having, again, mid lane, not a lot happening there. Not really focused for either of these teams. Top has been a decent focus for both games now, with both sides trading, with Trollolula coming out better this game. With just a Weasel, doesn't feel like he's going to have that much of an impact this game on the Alawi, which is just so far behind at this point. 30 CS down, with Trollolula having 2 kills and an assist. He's just bullying him out of this lane. Ooh, we get Spike. Oh, we got the Arcane Shift there.
There we are. That's what we were talking about in the pre-game discussion about getting those Ezreal buffers off. Just, you know, complete safety that nullifies this Blitzcrank pick if you can pull it off. But no, again, still some good accuracy out of Spike. He is landing them despite the buffers. But yeah, this top lane matchup certainly feels personal at this point. Probably really. Oh, and actually, we're going to see the Sejuani. We're going to see the shuffle come in from the Azir.
Oh,
it's missed.
Brownie. You get the ultimate out of there from Sejuani and then pick it up. Okay, Brownie. Very much a misplay there. Flashing forward, not getting the stand behind me there for the Azir. But they do pick up Licon there on the Syndra, burning his flash as well. But for the both ultimate stuff.
Yeah, it looks like Spike Spiegel's going to try and run down Croquet Browner, and he's going to land the hook, and it looks like it's going to be a kill over to the Udyr. Yeah, once again. Oh no, the kill's actually going to be taken by, I think, the Blitzcrank passive, which is incredibly unlucky there. That'll be a little bit frustrating, but it's a kill nonetheless.
Yeah, obviously he's in the Streamer Shuffle there from Spike Spiegel, as we see Trollolula going on just a Weasel with Pyro Tom joining. Looks like it might have been a solo kill. Get the stun down and lets Trollolula pick it up. Spike Spiegel has also joined the party as they drop the record. It's a party in the top lane and everybody is invited, just not if you're on Team Roccet.
Yeah, it's looking a little dire for Just Weasel this game. He got his fun on the Darius, but you know, Trollolula really took that personally. Didn't enjoy being dominated by the Darius, so they ban it away, push Just Weasel onto the Alawi, and he is struggling.
Yeah, it's looking a bit dire for Team Roccet at the moment. They're 6k down at 12 minutes. The Horizon Shadow did have a lead last game. It was about 4k. And obviously Team Roccet came back. Well, this game, it just feels a bit more like the Camille is just going to take over. There's no one on Team Roccet apart from Rock, who is strong. Even he's down in CS to the Kaiser, who is on more gold than him. So even their strongest member in their camp out, just not good. As we see Trollolulu going in the mid lane, we get the Azir ultimate out. Also Lantern, Streamer Shuffle. Spike Spiegel, just sort of chilling in the river, getting hooked by Impress, but Trollolulu is also here with pitching a tent, having to flash out. So Spike Spiegel, man fearless. Just doesn't burn anything. Didn't have the flash to flash out, but managed to get the flash out from Sejuani from pitching a tent.
Yeah, some questionable decision making there after Azir decides to not take the Lantern and slides away in the opposite direction, and pitching a 10 and Impress still decide to take the engage onto the Blitzcrank. So they've definitely lost priority on this dragon. It looks like it's going to be the second one taken down. Oh, and the True Shot Barrage was close to stealing that, but Pyro Tom's smiting is going to be on point this game so far, as they're going to move in and try and take down Sejuani again. The hook is going to miss, and it looks as though Sejuani is just going to leave over the wall. It'd be interesting to see if Impress wants to go for a hook here onto the Udyr. Oh, and there's the ultimate.
Pyro Tom played that beautifully, but we do get a hook on Spike Spiegel there, who's going over to getting TP out with Killer Instinct. Also, 2 flashes out, Rock had flash out as well. Impress is going down after the stopwatch. We do see the Alawi turning up, just a Weasel just to get burned down by the Kai'Sa and the Udyr there. Azir does pick up Trollolulu with a nice amount of gold onto him. But Pyro Tom and X-Trigger just getting so many kills there with what looked like a decent hook, engaged. Pyro Tom going very ham, just a bit of a bear slab, runs away.
Yeah, it's a 1 for 4 overall, brilliantly played by Horizon Shadow. The Killer Instinct in from Kai'Sa is able to pick up the Ezreal at the very start of the fight. He's even going to go for the Gale Force into the Azir, but he is going to be able to slide and glide his way out of there. Yeah, excellent play from X-Striker there, being able to take out the opposing AD carry very early on. It's a little bit of an overcommit from the Roccet side, with an excellent teleport in from Trollolulu right into the middle of the fight. Yeah. Even though he drops, he was able to get down, he was able to distract the entirety of the Roccet team as Horizon Shadow took down the 4 other members.
Pyro Tom played that fight beautifully. So when the Roccet Impress threw down the box, he was already on the inside of it, so they didn't do that. Stunned him up so he couldn't get hooked or flayed and just ran away, which meant that dodged the hook, which did go into Spike, but Spike survived anyway, being quite tanky on this Blitzcrank. But yeah, very nicely played out from Horizon Shadow to get a 7k lead now at almost 16 minutes. Looking very nice.
Yeah, you have to think this might be insurmountable, but we saw some of the healing coming out from the Alawi in that fight with the Leap of Faith ultimate, and it's actually going to be a flash hook onto Cocaine Brown, who's likely going to be taken down. Shuffles his way out, but it looks like the Udyr is too fast, and the Phoenix Stance will take the kill. Glacial Prison onto the Kai'Sa, but the cleanse is going to come out very quickly from X-Strider.
That was hilarious to watch. We see Pyro Tom is just so speedy in this game. He does get the stun onto Pitcher's head. He does get hooked, but I don't think they have the damage to kill him. You get the Sejuani stun down, but Pyro Tom, bare form, just such an absolute speed demon with the Chem Tank and the Dead Man's Plate. Managed to, even though very nice shooting shuffle out from Cocaine Brownie, still goes down.
Yeah, the movement speed from this Udyr is becoming a little bit of a problem. We're seeing the the hooks from the Thresh landing, but it's just not quite enough to be able to have any damage to pick anything up on the backside. But we're going to see Trollolulu with the hookshot wall dive into the Q. Oh, and there's the Hextech ultimate and flash from Just Weasel, but the ultimate is not going to gain them anything. We're going to see the hook coming out there. We are onto Impress, into the stun from Syndra, and a Q to finish off. The ultimate wasn't even needed.
No, this Horizon Shadow look very much looking in that comfort zone at the moment. Just hit 10k at 17 minutes. They're just Roccet just can't do anything at the moment. They're just so far behind everywhere on the map. Got 2 kills on the Azir, 3 on the Ezreal. But apart from that, literally nothing. 0-5-1 for just a Weasel. Such like odds, black and white from last game.
Yeah, it's now a 10k gold advantage, as we've seen. Oh, the hookshot wall dive again onto the Sejuani, who's 3 levels behind Pyro Tom. Going to be taken down. Kill given over to Trollolulu this time around, who's even got the Executioners coming out to be able to take down that Alawi even easier. So it is really looking dire for Team Roccet this game.
Yeah, Pyro Tom giving a bit of his burning logo to Sejuani there with the kill. 308 coming out for Udyr. very nice position. You've got bounties across the board for everyone on the side of Horizon Shadow there.
Yeah, it's really looking a difficult position here for Team Roccet. We'll have to see. There's going to be, in the next 60 seconds, we're going to be moving over to that third dragon, which is it's actually a cloud dragon this game. So again, we're not seeing the likes of the Infernal or the Ocean. So if talking positives for Roccet, that is perhaps one that they don't feel like they have to overcommit to the third dragon. If you're in Roccet's situation right now, you're really just thinking about trying to channel some farm into this Azir, into this Ezreal, and just try and survive the next 10 to 15 minutes while your carries become relevant.
Yeah, you want to get a shutdown onto one of these carries here, but as we saw, Power Tom is just so unkillable at this point. Rock would be doing a decent amount of damage, but all these guys are mirror mana at this moment, and that isn't fully complete yet. So he's still trying to stack that up. So he's not going to be doing a huge amount of damage. We've got the Mythical coming out from Azir, but again, compared to the other side of Collector Gale Force from Kai'Sa, we've got the Luden's Echo, Luden's Tempest on the Syndra, and Needlessly Large as well, with 2 stacks on the ring as well. So Spike Spiegel just ulting Silence. Beautiful. We get the shuffle onto Power Tom, who's getting into it, but not taking any damage. Got the silent. That was beautiful by Spike Spiegel. What a fruity dawn, as someone in chat was it.
Yeah, Rock tries to take the step towards him to dodge the hook, because he's actually going to miss another one this time onto Cocaine Browner, as he might take a little bit of poke on the exit from the Sand Soldiers, but they are going to just part ways now. Looks as though Horizon Shadow are going to want to move towards that Baron. They were able to take 21 minutes last game. Let's see if they can improve on that, as Spike Spiegel is going to take the reset.
Yeah, I believe what Spike did there was got the silence down with the ultimate onto Ezreal, so he couldn't RNG shift away, which just got the damage down, flashed out, but obviously couldn't go anywhere.
I think Rock was trying to plan on dodging just a little to the right to dodge the hook first, but actually walked in range of the ultimate, so the silence hit. So very unfortunate chain of events there. So needs to stay outside of the range of that silence. As Spike's going to move over to the Baron, try and get some of that vision. Surprised that ward actually reaches that ward in the back there, but it has worked out there for the Horizon Shadow support.
We do have the Rift Herald eye on Sejuani still, but 5 levels down on the studio, and we get another hook on the drop, blown up by Spike Spiegel and X-Trigger there. Very clean, didn't even have to burn anything. Rock couldn't go anywhere with silence, too much damage at this point.
Yeah, this is feeling rough for the AD carry. He's tried his best to stay relevant throughout the game, but just been picked off by this Blitzcrank now, who's, with these tier 1 towers down. Oh, and he's going to let another hook onto Impress max range, and he's going to be the Gale Force into the final auto. Glacial Prison is going to go wide. Such a shame there for pitching a 10, although I'm not sure they would have had the follow-up. Azir is certainly not in the best position right now. They are going to make their way towards a 22-minute Baron this time around.
Yeah, and they do have all the Drakes and all the towers at this point, so looking very strong, coming out 13k gold lead as Pyroton joins Bearman, Sonic the Hedgehog. He's just going to burn it down. We do have pitching attempts coming out, so maybe with a oh my god, he thought he had the ward, so he tried to do it over the wall, so he drops the Rift Herald, goes in, gets killed by the Syndra, flashes out. Shelly got hooked out by Spike, and then Pyro Tom just takes down the Baron. So we'll call that a question mark play coming out from pitching tent there.
Oh god, I really, really wish we could see that again. I'm assuming it was an error in assuming. Oh, and it's going to be the flash hook again from Spike Spiegel into the Hextech Ultimatum. It's a nice hook from Impress, but again, there's no damage to follow up. As the Bearman is going to run through, Bear Slap onto the Ezreal, and he's going to auto attack him down, as he's not going to try and dive the tier 3 tower.
I watched that back on the screen on my iPad. It was very funny to watch.
Yeah, I'm not sure if the Shelly would have ever attacked the Baron, but it would have been interesting to see if that can occur.
I mean, yeah, I mean, pitching attempts got the sweeper, so I'm guessing he was trying to get vision of that, or trying to get rid of any wards that he must have been stood on to try and get the blinds to try and steal, I guess.
Yeah, there's certainly the chance that it was, you know, they realise how far behind they are in this game, so they're just trying whatever they can. And I think the cooldown was running out on the Herald anyway, so it needed to be used. And there was no lanes that were pushed up enough for it to actually provide any damage to a tower. So perhaps just a Hail Mary to try and distract the team from the actual Baron. But Spike Spiegel hooking it out of the Baron pit very effectively.
Yeah, it was, and the Sejuani is just not very tanky at this moment at all. 0-4 and 2. Ozoni just got the Sunfire Aegis complete compared to what's that? Is that Force of Nature? No, it's the Chain Guards. What's it called? Just check. That is called. Oh no, it is Force of Nature, fully completed Force of Nature on Udia, who he's going in onto impressive flashes out. But this bear man is so speedy. He's got the Tiger Stance there and the kill onto the Syndra. And going on to impress, got Cholulu joining on. Excellently dodging the Azir Sand Soldiers there as they take down the Azir passive turret.
Yeah, we really haven't seen the effectiveness out of Cocaine Brown in this game with the Azir pick. The Rumble equalizers have been an awful lot more effective than these Emperor's Divides, unable to really hit anyone into the tower there. But you know, perhaps it's better used as this disengage tool. But we're not seeing it be very successful here, as it looks like Udyr is going to take down the Cloud Soul here. So this game has to be all but done, but the Nexus.
Yeah, very nice showing out from Horizon Shadow, showing that they not phased by that loss earlier with the bit of cheese. I think we might be able to say coming out from Rock with the last minute Darius swap. We do see them in the base just going on this bottom. We've got Impress going in with the box, immediately gets blown up by the Odia. Just Weasel can't even get in, but we do see the Syndra going down on the other side of the map, but then also just Weasel on the Alawi dies as well. Got a flash out from Cocaine Brownie, Pyrotop just running on them up now. Ooh, also X-Trigger going down on the Ezreal, getting a nice chunk of gold there, but they're on the Nexus turrets. We've got and they've got the buffer out from the Ezreal again. Would they finish here? I'm not sure they will.
No, I don't expect them to. I think they'll try, but I'm not expecting them to be successful here. As we do see them go in on the Sejuani. They are going to be able to take Sejuani down, but we'll see if the Ezreal can hold on here. Nice shift into their own towers, and it looks like they're going to be able to stay alive just for now, as Rock and Impress will be able to take down the minions. Nice showing here from Rock on the Ezreal, actually. It's been silently in the backline of a lot of these fights, and Brownie has been taking a lot of the key damage out of the Horizon Shadow team. So, you know, some signs of hope there for the Rock bottom lane moving into game 3. Not to say this game is over, but it is a 16,000 gold lead at 26 minutes. But definitely going to want to prioritize keeping the Ezreal alive.
Yeah, a bit of an overcommit on the side of Horizon Shadow there with 4 going down. But I feel like they can probably play with their food a bit at this point. Got the biggest goal bounty on Spike Spiegel, the man manipulation on the Blitzcrank. 4-1 and 13. Hitting some very key hooks with this game as we try and see Rock just push out, trying to get some vision. But you see pitch and attempt. Just getting hooked in. He does manage to get out, maybe for now, and the Gale Force into the hook for the Impress. Flash out, just a bit of respect there from X-Trigger. But we saw the, I guess he must have got vision of the Blitzcrank, dived out of the way expecting the hook, but as we see time and time again, the patience out from Spike Spiegel, waiting for him to come back to the wall, just hook him once more.
Yeah, and it looks as though they're going to be going down here again. Pyrotom just playing with his food once again, not even focusing the objective. And it looks like they're going to take the Nexus, and it is Team Roccet blasting off again.
Gosh, you said that. That was my joke.
I'm sorry, but you bet me that I wouldn't do it, so I just figured I may as well.
I said I'd get annoyed with you if you said it.
Oh, I thought you said... I'm so sorry. I'm so sorry.
No, just in general, just bad jokes. I love them, but I also hate them. But yeah, all jokes aside, Horizon Shadow, very clean game. I'd say more of a stomp than the first game. very strong team showing across the board. Some key people obviously being Trollolulu getting that early advantage in the top lane with some good kills, really shutting the Alawi out. We've got Pyro Tom in the jungle, just being literally everywhere. That man was a beast on the Erdia. And Spice Beagle hitting some very tasty hooks.
Yeah, I'm very much looking forward to seeing this top lane matchup again in Game 3. We've seen it go both ways now. Looks like there's a personal rivalry building here between Just Weasel and Trollolulu. So we'll see what Game 3 brings.
Yeah, so with that, we'll just head to another break before we get into Game 3 of this very exciting series between Horizon Shadow and Team Roccet. So see you in a minute. Hello, hello. Welcome to this final match between Horizon Shadow and Team Roccet. I keep saying Rocket, but Rocket. I'll keep mispronouncing it to the end of time. So again, I'm Sam Spitfire Warble, joined by Ethan Hooper Hargreaves, the Northern Power Duo.
Yeah, that's right.
So yeah, two very different games we've seen coming in to this series so far. So interesting games. Game 3. Sorry. We'll see what happens.
We're going into the penultimate game now. I'd definitely like to see a much more competitive game coming out of game 3. It felt like game 1 could have gone either way, but the draft kind of came in a little bit heavy in the late game in Rocket's favor. So I would like to see us moving into some more of those even team fights in game 3. It's definitely much more entertaining for us and for the audience for sure.
Well, my prediction is whoever wins top lane is gonna win the game.
I mean that has been the case so far, and these guys really are taking it to each other. We've not really seen any tanks up in the top lane so far. Well, not full tanks, that is. No, nothing like the Ornn or maybe even the Volibear. We're seeing the likes of the Fiora, Camille, Darius. So we'll see if they stick with that trend as we're going to move in to the picks and bans. Both sides on the same side of the draft as always. So we have Horizon Shadow, the two-time champions of VL on the blue side, and on the red side we have Team Roccet. It's going to be the Viego ban out first. That has been the first ban all series long. They clearly don't want to play against that. Once again, followed up by the Fiddlesticks.
Yeah, two obviously quite strong picks. I'm not sure about the Viego, how strong it actually is. It seems to be still finding its footing, but Fiddlesticks, key mess pick at the moment, it seems, with a lot of junglers getting hit. Anivia coming out from Horizon Shadow and the Seraphine with Gnar on the other side. So same 3 bans as last time for Horizon Shadow. Feeling like they didn't care what they picked last game. They can pick it again for all they care. So we'll see if and the Udia feels like a good ban. They did have it game 1, which they won. Pyroton picking up in the second game. They're hovering the Fiora. We'll see if they Horizon Shadow take that.
Yeah, no huge surprises here in the bans. I would be interested to see if there's going to be an early jungle pickup. That seems to be something that's been prioritized. But we are going to see the Kai'Sa again for X-Driger. Had an excellent game 2 on that pick with some very aggressive killer instincts. As we're going to see Impress on the Leona. 3rd different support there for the Roccet bot laner, as they are now just going to hover a few different AD carries.
Yeah, Impress has been pretty quiet in both games. It's having some good on horns in the first game, but not doing a lot on Thresh in the second. So maybe have a bit more of an impact on the Leona. And then we get pitching a tent on the Nunu again. Good showing out from the first game. Did fall quite far behind in the early game, but was managed to bring it back in the late. So we'll see if they can have a better early game or just like snowball from there.
Get you there, snowball. Very funny.
Haha, I didn't even mean that. I generally didn't mean that one.
Definitely the Leona Nunu going to look again for more of that team fight prowess that we saw in game 1 from Roccet. Going to be playing into that Ivern, who did receive some nerfs on this patch, but can be such an incredibly frustrating jungler to take away. And we're definitely going to have to keep an eye on the early jungle pathing out of the Ivern, as we're also going to see the Rel being brought out from Spike Spiegel.
Yeah, so he is on that tank, true to his namesake. I like that one. No one else probably gets it, but I'm happy. So yeah, we've got the bot lane jungler locked in as both times for the Horizon Shadow, and the Darius coming out for just a weasel on the side of Roccet. Let's see if he can have the same impact he did in the first game.
Yeah, it'd be interesting to see if Roccet try and pinch the top lane pool once again this game to try and put. Yeah, it looks as though they are. The Camille's going to be taken away. It'd be interesting to see if they take away the Fiora as well. We're not sure where that Ivern's going just yet. I was talking about jungle pathing, but we have seen an awful lot of Ivern top at the moment. So that is still technically a flex pick. So be interesting to see where they put that. The E trigger seed, though, has been nerfed slightly, with the shield having an awful lot less to it. And the Senna is going to be taken away. Not something we've seen come out of Rock, but it is an incredibly safe AD carry.
Yeah, it's got a lot of healing. Pairing nicely with Leona with that long range engage. We see the Galio out from Roccet there, tight in the mid lane on Lycaon. as we've been told it's pronounced. We'll get that wrong multiple times. The last band coming out, Misfortune, good ADC. We did see Sven in the NALCS get 2 Penticos with that at the lock-in tournament, showing quite a lot. There have been the Aphelios. Most times you see Aphelios, you take the Thresh with it. So, but they've already locked in the Leona, so see if they take that here. Can't make his mind up. Aphelios, and it's the Aphelios lock.
I am very excited to be casting the Aphelios. Big fan of the champion myself. I've been playing an awful lot of it in solo queue at the moment. Did my research on the gun names, so we're good to go.
I'm going to be calling it the flamethrower. You got the super soaker. You got the sniper rifle, and you got the scythe.
I respect that.
That's the one, and I'm not going to learn them. Oh, Heimerdinger. We get the Donga locked in for Horizon Shadow. Could be in the top lane. I feel like that's probably top lane pick into the Darius, just to sort of nullify him, I guess, keep him at arm's length. Just put you with the Zoe Hover. I feel like that's where it's going, which means that the Ivan is in the jungle. Oh, this could be interesting. And
yeah,
the
there's the
Yone.
Yone. It makes sense. They do need some AD damage on the side. If you're going with the Heimerdinger top lane and Kai'Sa, deals a certain portion of AP damage, it makes sense to go with the Yone. As we're going to see the Rumble come out once again for Cocaine Browner. So still some excellent team fight potential for the side of Roccet. I really like that pick. He looked an awful lot more comfortable on it than the Azir pick. As definitely a very different draft from games 1 and 2. Both teams shaking it up an awful lot with some new picks. So let's see how this one goes.
But again, Roccet with the team fight focus there. 2 the same picks from game 1 with the Nunu and the Rumble and the Darius. Sorry, three picks. Just different bot lane, but Leona engage with Rock on the Aphelios if he can get those shurikens up. Can 200 the whole team. But on the side of Horizon Shadow, interesting team comp. Some odd picks to say the least, but we can see where they're doing. They're going to be focusing around their solo laners, I feel.
Oh, certainly, yes. I think it's, as we're in the game, I apologize. I will likely talk an awful lot about the Aphelios at the moment because I'm interested to see how Rock is going to manage the ammunition on the champion, because it's so important that you have the right guns for the right occasion with this champion. So when you're going into the team fight, you really want to be having that Severum and the Infernum. That's the red gun and the blue gun for those that aren't familiar with them, to get the healing and the incredible AoE damage that's coming out of those fights. And when you're sieging, you really want to be having the sniper, which the name I am just forgetting at the moment. It's Calibrum. That's it.
Even I knew that.
Yeah, which gives you the extended range to be sieging down those towers. So definitely going to be one thing to keep an eye on. But yeah, definitely some excellent team fighting potential coming out of Roccet. But let's see how this Ivern and Heimerdinger will be able to kind of nullify the team fighting from the Roccet side.
We do have quite a lot of magic damage coming out on the side of Horizon Shadow, because Yone does about a third of each, which makes building against him quite difficult. So doing magic, AD, and just true damage as well. So will be interesting, but you do have the Kai'Sa with the AD and the AP as well. AP coming out the Heimerdinger, AP coming out from the Ivern. So we'll see if Darius does take more of maybe some early magic resist. I feel like Merc Treads is probably a must for the side of Roccet in this game.
Yeah, I'll be interested to see, particularly with how Spike Spiegel's going to be playing this game. Really, the only key tank coming in for the side of Horizon Shadow. So it'll be interesting to see how he plays things, and where they place the Ivan shields onto the Kai'Sa so that she can jump into the back line. But it's definitely a tough team to jump into the back of. You're going to have that Leona that's going to be there ready with the Q to lock down the Kai'Sa immediately. I expect to once again see Cleanse out of Xtriger. We can't currently see the choice of Summoner spell, so we'll get on that once we get into the loading screen. but that seems like it would be the safest option playing into a Leona. So I think that's going to be a must-have. And yeah, definitely going to be an interesting game.
Scrappy team fight as well, I'm expecting. Scrappy fights. We'll see. This Heimerdinger is just going to push the Darius in early. So I feel like pitching a 10's going to have to focus the top side. So I feel like Pyro Tom will probably know that and just path around him as well. The Ivan quite good at like nullifying ganks with the trigger seed and the his Q to just root up everyone to stop them going in.
Yeah, we have seen Pyro Tom actually dominate the early game with some brilliant pathing. Able to take down the top laner in early ganks both times around and get there before pitching a 10. And Ivan is definitely a champion that you can really, do some interesting pathing with early to try and take away your enemy's buffs. So, we'll have to see if pitching a 10 can recover from some of these poor early games that they've been having in this series.
Yeah, so as we do head into the game here, we'll have a quick pause just to make sure everything's loaded up. It's going to be an exciting game 3. We'll let Hugo take the intro on this one. But we're just having a quick pause and we'll be with you shortly.
Yep. Fantastic, and here we go. So we're going into game 3 of Horizon Shadow versus Team Roccet. This one is for all the bragging rights. Horizon Shadow looking to go 2-0 so far in the league, and Roccet trying to pick up their first series win. So let's see what happens here. It looks like they're just going to be fanning out across the board. No funny business in the level 1 once again.
Oh, I love a bit of funny business, but we've had no interesting level 1s to be at the moment. Just taking quite defensive lines. Nothing too random, but we'll see what happens. Both junglers. Well, Ivan's in the mid lane at the moment. Nunu on his red side, spotting out Licky on there, but nothing too much.
No, and we are seeing the cleanse coming out from X-Striger on the Kai'Sa, so makes a lot of sense into the Leona. I really like that summoner spell pickup. But we'll see where the Ivern chooses to start here. And whether they go for a triple buff start.
So what I'd say with the Ivern usually is they would put their passive down onto, say, their wolves and their blue buff, head straight over to the enemy red, smite that away, and come back, and their buffs will actually be up, go around to their red and take that as well, doing the 3 buff. But you can actually see that what have predicted this actually, Roccet, and there's a red ward by their red, so if Ivan does this, they're able to see it. But it doesn't look like he's actually pathing over. No, he's taking his blast plant, he's staying in his blue side, but as we do see some trading in the mid lane.
Yeah, definitely looking like Pyro Tom doesn't want to go for the risky play this early game. I believe they might have actually seen that red ward be placed. I think it's possible, or at least they don't want to make that aggressive of a move in the early game. We will just see the Ivern move back towards the wolves and the blue buff to pick up that early clear, and then perhaps move towards this mid lane, as top lane doesn't look like it's going to be the first destination in this game, with the Heimerdinger pushing so heavily for the side of Horizon Shadow.
Now we do see both junglers now in their top side jungle. The Rumble's getting slightly better trades out onto the Yone, having to pop his Spirit Rock there to just get the cannon, but nothing too spicy coming out. Got the Comet coming down, but with Fleet Footwork coming out from Yone, does get that healing down anyway.
Yeah, Yone really using the Spirit Unbound to great effect there, as we're going to see the Snowball running into the top lane. Heimerdinger is overextended, able to land the stun onto the Darius though. Will pitching a 10 land the knockup, and Heimerdinger's going to wander around it, but with the red buff slows, you have to think that Heimerdinger's going to go down here, and it is its first blood to just Weasel's Darius. Once again, off to a nice game with the Darius.
Yeah, we have seen first bloods in the top lane in every single game so far today. We do have Ivern in the top lane, sort of pressuring pitching a tent off this Scuttle Crab. So it's at least a slight thing back for Horizon Shadow after that kill going down. We didn't get the flash out of the Heimerdinger. Feel like he probably couldn't get away anyway. So still got that, teleporting back in and back up with the pushing.
Yeah, the only issue here for Pyro Tom that's slowing him down without the smite is having to just wander around. There's another great soul and bound trade out of the Yone onto the Rumble, who's really struggling in this matchup. But yeah, the Ivan was having to wait for the passive to actually proc. As we're going to see a little engage into the bot lane, as the Leona's going to go in with the stun onto the Rel, but it doesn't look as though much is going to come of it.
No, it's looked like Spike Spiegel was just more running interference than anything. We did see the snowball in the top lane, but he's just recalling it in Tri-Brush now, so not going to go in. No real major advantages apart from the kill so far across any of the lanes.
Yeah, again, we're seeing the double Scuttle come out from Pyro Tom. He just passed through the mid lane to take down the second Scuttle Crab with the smite, so things are looking a little tricky in terms of the XP for pitching a tent once again, but it's worth it given that they were able to get that Darius ahead in the early game into what's quite a difficult matchup into the Heimerdinger.
Yeah, it's gonna be just a lane bully. As the game goes longer though, the Heimerdinger doesn't really have that much of an impact. If he is super far ahead, he's going to be doing loads of damage and nobody will be able to contest him. But if it sort of goes as it is at the moment, they're both going to scale about the same rate, and Darius is probably going to be stronger. They get a ward and a flash out from both Spike and go and charge down onto Impress, get the Q down, the Rocket Barrage from X-Trigger, and flash out from Impress as well. So 2 flashes down, both for Rock and Impress on the side of Team Rocket, and just the flash, which they do have Hex Flash on the Spike. So nice trade out from Horizon Shadow there. As we see a snowball in the mid lane as well. See if anything comes of this. Lycion just dashes over the wall with the Q.
It looks as though they are going to follow it still, as Spike Spiegel's going to make his way up into the river, but pitching a tent's just going to run his way out. We're seeing this Heimerdinger continuing to push in, getting that slight CS advantage, so despite being ahead, still a difficult lane matchup for the Darius, as Croquet and Brownie actually just going to equalize the wave to pick up that farm and get a recall off. Let's see what items come through. Only a slight CS advantage for the Rumble and quite a late first back.
It's got the Seeker's Arm Guard. Probably going to first item Zhonya's then, or maybe just picking that up straight into Mythic. We'll see how Cocaine Brownie does that. Yeah, we saw there's a ward in the Tri-Brush on the side of Horizon Shadow, so when Spike was moving over, they did back off. As we see another Ultimate Snowball coming out from the... Ooh, that was a nice CC onto the pitching a tent. Got the ultimate down from Trollolulu, as we do see the teleport out from the Oni straight onto pitching a tent with a very nice ultimate onto 2, as Cocaine Brownie did also join. No equalizer, we did see him join the way. Pyro Tom flashes out on the Ivan, who also joined. So no kills going down. We had 2 teleports, one on the inside, and a flash for Pyro Tom. But not a lot happening as we see Spice Speaker going down into Bok as he has no flash. Ignite is down, burning away. Pop him in a lot, managed to get that kill. Impress also no ignite. We've got the slam down, shatter down from the Rel, but Impress does manage to walk the way out.
Yeah, once again, Rock with the exhaust on the AD carry. I'm still not convinced that it's worth the pickup. I'd much rather see the exhaust on the Leona and just take the heal on the Aphelios. You know, in a lot of these games, they've been struggling to survive the bot lane. Even in game 1 that they've won, they were kind of unsuccessful in the 2v2, but were able to win the late game. So I would like them to see them take much more defensive summoner spells to try and survive the power of X-Striker and Spike Spiegel.
Yeah, it's very, very nice from X-Striker and Spike. As soon as they saw that pitching tent was in the top lane, they immediately went on to Rock. And obviously, neither of the on the side of Rocket had flashes, very easy killers. Neither of them had very much mobility in the slightest as well. So
yeah, once again, we're seeing Pyro Tom get the level 6 quicker than Pitching a Tent, who just had his blue stolen away. A bit of a shame there for the Nunu. As we're going to see Rel moving into the mid lane, but nothing doing here, despite particularly given that the Rumble still has the flash available.
Yeah, it's very... Lycion here seems to be quite adept on the Yone, which we saw a ban for it last game. But he does seem quite comfortable on the pick, doing quite well already. only been aiming minutes into the game with a nice team fight in the top lane. So we'll have to see how that, as late game with an Imperial Mandate, not an Imperial Mandate, a Immortal Shield roll, sorry, on him, he's just going to become unkillable at this point. At that point, sorry, not this point. He hasn't died yet though, so...
We're seeing an awful lot of the same as game one here for both sides. We're seeing the dominance in top lane for Team Roccet, and we're seeing some of the weaknesses in their bot lane as the bot lane of Horizon Shadow try and get themselves a slight lead there with about a 24 CS lead for the Kai'Sa into Aphelios, which is very impactful. Oh, so we're going to see the jump in and stun from the rail, and there's the Magnet Storm just pulling in the Aphelios, he's actually going to survive for quite a long time. His pitching attempt is going to try and run down the Kai'Sa. They are able to do that. Let's see if they're able to pick up the second kill onto the rail, but with the Trigger Seed coming in from Pyro Tom, it doesn't look like it. They would surely just part ways there. So we're going to see the Accurate Hand from the Darius onto the Heimerdinger, who's able to flash out. And the rally's going to go in once again. It's 2v3 though. I'm not sure Spike Spiegel knew that. Trigger Seed is going to take up a lot of the damage though. And let's see if we see the ultimate coming out from the Yone. As there it is. And it's going to be a 2-man ultimate. Pop back on the Solden Band. The kill actually goes over to the Ivern, which is a little bit of a shame. But a lot of action on the map.
Yeah, so we get fights all across the map there. Again, it looks like Cocaine Brownie's really not having an impact compared to this Yone pick, which even we saw in the top lane fight and the fight there just then, very strong. Got the ultimate off. The equalizer wasn't even put down from Cocaine Brownie. Not sure if it was on cooldown or what. I don't think it was, but looking. But means that the Horizon Shadow can pick up this first Ocean Trade. As we see more trades in the mid lane, but feels like Horizon Shadow's taking a bit of a lead here, being almost just under 2k up.
Yeah, certainly, and there's been some excellent Fate Sealed ultimates out of the Yone so far, clearly showing a confidence on this champion, landing 2 3-man ultimates very early on in this game, so feeling confident moving into these later game team fights. We have seen some brilliant equalizers in game one out of Cocaine Brownie, so we'll have to see how that goes moving towards the second Drake and perhaps even the Rift Herald, which Pyro Tom could possibly be setting up for here.
Yeah, it does seem pitch intent does seem to always be there first for the gang, but with the Ivern, just hold that for a second as we see Lycion go on Cocaine Brownie, both just training away as he jumps back. Yeah, Cocaine pitching intent always seems to be initiating the ganks, but then Pyro Tom comes up to finish it. So it's just very much following. As we see a flash forward from Spike Spiegel onto the bot, immediate flash out with the Killer Instinct, followed by X-Trigger. Got the Solar Flare down. As we also see a fight in the mid lane between the mid lane and the junglers. He's going to get caught by the Null and he is going to snap back. But we also see Trollolulu have teleported in there and they get the kill onto the pitch of his head. Will they be able to chase down onto, it looks like it, with the ultimate coming out from Lycion there. With the Trigger Seed, just make sure he doesn't die to the tower. Excuse me. Yeah,
brilliant play there from Lycion as we see 2 fall on the side of Team Roccet. Nice play on the bottom side from Impress. Was able to land a 2-man Solar Flare to avoid the damage from Spike Spiegel and X-Striger. But, nothing's able to happen in the end down there. Once again, though, we're seeing Just Weasel not use the teleport to join that fight. You have to think that perhaps with the Darius in there, they can perhaps, take a kill on that. And as we're going to see the stun onto the Kai'Sa as the Aphelios ultimate is going to miss, but it looks as though the Kai'Sa is still going to go down. They're able to transfer the kill over to the Aphelios, which is exactly where they want that goal to be going, as he moves likely towards the Gale Force or Kraken.
Yeah, we saw the Moonlight Vigil go wide there, just out of range. Good pick up onto the Kai'Sa, again, pitching attempt doing, but no Pyro Tom this time, so nice to find a gank without him there. 1-2-2 for the Nunu, whereas opposed to 1-0-2 on Pyro Tom with a 30 CS lead. So I feel like the Ivern's in a better place here than the Nunu. As we see, going on to Cocaine Brownie, just get some damage down. Pyro Tom is a bit left out to dry, but Trigger Seed more than enough to stop the damage.
Yeah, we're really seeing this Ivern just negate so much of the damage that's coming out in every fight here. Looks as though the Darius here might be trying to move down towards this Rift Herald. There is the potential for a fight here, so pitching a tent down on the walls might be happy just to give this one.
Yeah. Oh, got the append onto Trollolulu. Got the 4 stacks of the passive, but Trollolulu does knock down the ultimate turret there. And down as the looks like Horizon Shadow is just going to pick up this Rift Herald as Spike Spiegel has roamed up with X Trigger just 1v2 in the bot lane, but flash forward from Impress into ultimate into cleanse. We've got the pitch intent snowball does hit onto X Trigger. Got the Zenith Blade, Killer Instinct out. Looks like pitch intent might go down here, so it is a 1-for-1 with a lot expended from Roccet's side there.
Yeah, slight misplay there from Roccet, but you know, they got what they went for. They got the kill over to the Aphelios once again, and they will be able to pick up some more. A bit of a shame with the Herald picked up just after 14 minutes, so no plate gold able to be achieved. They will get the first tower, but that'll likely be shared with the bot lane, who will probably be picking up the bot lane tower fairly soon.
Yeah, it was a good pickup, but as I said, they expanded a lot. There was the Leona Flash, the Leona Solar Flare, and pitch intent did go down as well, so it was just a 1-for-1. We do see Spike Spiegel just trying to delay recalls here. He does manage to stop Impress. Taking stock, we've got about 4k lead for Horizon Shadow again at 14 minutes. Not as much as last game, it was about 6 or 16 minutes, so see if they can get up there. They might be able to. Lycion's very strong. Ultimate onto Cocaine Brownie, getting the passive on. Got a snap back and pops the Immortal Shield Bow passive, but pretty healthy. Half HP. Very nice out of Lycion on this Yone.
Yeah, definitely just 10 seconds before Dragon. It's going to be able to pick that up easy. It looks like there's not going to be any contention from the side of Team Roccet. We're seeing like about 3.5k advantage now at 15 minutes. So definitely advantage over to Horizon Shadows.
Yeah, got the top lane seems kind of even. A bit of CS for the Heimerdinger, but also the kill on the Darius, so it evens out a bit. Jungle.
We're going to see the mid lane dive here, although we've got pitching intent coming in from behind with the snowball. Doesn't look like anybody's going to commit to it though, as Kai'Sa has pushed in the mid lane with... Oh, as Aphelios is actually chunked out to around 200 HP from the stun into the towers. This is really bad for Roccet. There is no way they're going to be able to take an engage at this point. Just clear out the mid lane, and it looks as though Rock is going to reset. Perhaps finish that mythic item. We'll have to see whether that comes through. Be interested to see which item he goes for, as the Kai'Sa has gone for the Kraken Slayer, which is the more aggressive option. And no, not able to afford the mythic item just yet, which was very bad for the Roccet AD carry.
Yeah, not looking great. We've got advantages pretty much across the board on the side of Horizon Shadow in every lane there. Up to about just 4.5k up over Team Roccet with 2 Drakes and 1 tower advantage. Pyrotom sort of hovering around the top side, not being able to get much, so he's probably just going to recall here. We do see Lycion push down into the bot lane now. The bot lane tower is still up, so I feel like he's probably just going to try and push that in with the bot lane now in the middle. Rock is transitioning over, but got to get some decent damage onto here and see if Impress goes in. Nope, as we do see the Trollolulu just come in to get that turret gold as well. Share that 3 ways. 2 turrets up to the side of Horizon Shadow.
Yeah, and we can see that gold advantage really does feel even bigger with the items, as only just now Just Weasel has picked up his side's first mythic item, but on the other side you're seeing the Moonstone, the Immortal Shield Bow and the Kraken Slayer into no mythic item, fully completed by the opposing positions. So you know, you really don't want to be taking a fight right now if you're Team Roccet.
Yeah, so Spike Spiegel is spotted here on a ward. They know him and Pyrotom are hanging around, as well as Lycion as well. But 4 of them were in the bot lane and didn't achieve anything, really. Getting gold onto Cocaine Brownie, but the bot lane and jungle of Team Roccet just not doing a lot. You can't really, not really decisive. Mid lane hadn't pushed it enough to be able to go that. You see just a wee stride break into the ultimate drop down for Trollolulu. Flash out from both, but the Trigger Seed is here to stop the bleed out. As we see just a Weasel running away, and the ultimate Daisy has arrived in the top lane with the Trigger Seed on it. See if they'll be able to kill. As we see Lycion going on to Cocaine Brownie as we go back to the top lane. They should be able to get the kill here. It's just a matter of dotting the I's and crossing the T's. As Daisy managed to pick that up for Pyro Tom.
Yeah, it feels really bad for Just Weasel. Played that almost perfectly, but Pyro Tom is just in the perfect place to finish that off. Oh, as the ultimate from the unit is actually just going to clip, and on the drag back, the kill is going to go over to Lycion. This matchup is just getting harder and harder for Cocaine Brownie. And yeah, once again, as I was saying, Pyro Tom with a brilliant trigger seed to soak up the majority of that hemorrhage damage coming out of the Darius.
Yeah, if you look at just the items in the mid lane, you've got the Immortal Shield Blow, Berserker's Greaves, and the Agility Cloak coming out on the Yone, compared to the Sork Shoes. You've got the Seeker's Arm Guard, Blasting Wand, and the Hextech Alternator. So not a lot. He hasn't completed an item for the Rumble. So he's very, very weak. No Mythic, not even as complete as Zonya's to try and get some damage out. As we see the Ultimate Snowball coming out from Nunu, missing all the throw snowballs as well. Flash to get the stun into the Chomp, into the ultimate. The Obscon misses, but they will pick it up in the end with the flash forward from pitching a tent onto Trollolulu. So a bit of solace there, but they are still 3k down at 20 minutes.
6k at the moment.
6k, sorry. Yeah. Did I say 3k? I meant 6k. I don't know why I said 3k.
They wish it was 3k at this point. Yeah, you can really see that pitching a tent is trying to put some priority into that top lane, as he has done for an awful lot of this series. Just a Weasel clearly being a priority carry for them, while Cocaine Brownie's really being left out to dry in a lot of these games. So it's definitely going to be down to, similar to game 2, them just trying to farm up towards the 30-35 minute mark when they can get 2 to 3 items on the likes of the Rumble and Aphelios. But until that point, you have to feel like Lycion's going to take over this game on the Yone.
Yeah, and there's, again, not a lot of Grievous Wounds coming out from the side of Roccet. Obviously, you want to get your completed items first, like the Mythic, which is just coming through for on the Rumble. He's picked up the Night Harvester. Kraken Slayer's done on Rock, and the Sunfire Aegis done for the Nunu. But you need to get that. So we've got the Bramble Vest and we've got the Hemorrhage coming out from the Darius. But apart from that, this Yone is going to be absolutely beaning everybody, to put it lightly. You'd hope to get like a the Grievous Wounds, not the step down from Morales, the Orb.
Oblivion Orb, yes.
That's the one.
Definitely want the Oblivion Orb coming in for the Rumble sometime soon, but the Yone very close to completing the Infinity Edge, so you assume that you'll probably want to recall fairly soon. They're actually going to go for another 21-minute Baron, and it doesn't look as though there's any vision from Team Roccet that is able to see this, as they've got the control ward down. Looks as though Just Weasel's about to spot this, but it's down to so low health, and there he is.
Ooh, so we get the ultimate out from Lycion onto the just managed to absolutely blow up Rock. Not even big. Teleport out from Cocaine Brownie, but he just has to run. We did get the Trollolulu ultimate as well, but didn't catch anything. They just got pushed down mid lane. So they did have vision of that Baron. The Warden back in the pink ones did actually have vision. It was in the bush as well. But there's nothing.
It's actually been cancelled out by the control ward.
Is it? So, is it? Oh, it is as well. I didn't see that.
So no vision there. Nice equalizer there to maybe take out the wave. They want to try and save this inhibitor tower for as long as possible. But things really in quite a poor situation here. We're seeing the Kraken Slayer out from the Aphelios. I think I would have preferred to see the Gale Force just to be able to escape the Rel Yone combo. As the Solar Flare is going to miss, flash forward from the Leona onto the Kai'Sa, and the Leona is going to go down. Back to Storm up to 3, as we're going to see the Nunu ultimate not really achieve an awful lot, as Darius is going to fall, although Rumble will pick up the Rel. Ooh, Kai'Sa with a nice little movement forward to pick up the final kill there, as an incredibly explosive fight ends 1 for 4 in the favour of Horizon Shadow.
Yeah, the extended ace there with Wok just respawning for the end of that fight. Just going to have to back off as they take their inhib here. The Horizon Shadow just looking so dominant in this game 3 again. Game 2 and 3 really have just been the Horizon Shadow games. 10k up, 23 minutes. We do have a a pause coming out. It does look like a bit of a Discord problem coming out for Team Roccet. But yeah, you have to feel bad for Roccet. Like, as we do head back into game, the only thing I can imagine is perfect gun Aphelios team fight, really 200 years it with on top of the equalizer. But as we saw in that fight, they just don't have the damage.
Yeah, we really saw them throw everything in the kitchen sink that they had towards Horizon Shadow there. Only able to pick up the one kill though with the slightly overextended rail. We've really seen the Trigger Seed and we've got the Moonstone Renewer into Staff of Flowing Water combo from the Ivern right now, which is doing so much work for the side of Horizon Shadow. So yeah, it's definitely just a case of trying to farm up towards the 35-40 minute mark, but definitely Horizon Shadow are going to try and finish this game out in the next 5 to 6 minutes.
Yeah, we might see them playing with the food again as they did in the base. But yeah, it's looking a bit dire for Team Roccet. The Darius, decent again, but did not get the same advantage that they did in game one. Was not be able to take over the top lane. This Hammerdinger has just managed to sort of neutralize it as what it needed to do. It was just a bully in the lane. We did see Pitch of the Tent going up there quite a few times to try and kill. They did manage to get 2 kills onto him, but it hasn't really amounted to anything. The bot lane for all series has been Horizon Shadow focused, and mid lane did look kind of even in the previous 2 games, but Lycion this game 5-0-5 on the Yone. He's got his Infinity Edge complete with the shield bow. As we see the snowball not getting anywhere, so 700 gold bounty. This Yone is going to be unstoppable.
Yeah, very interesting where we've seen this series turn out. Looks as though that it perhaps might have been. Oh, we might actually see that Just Weasel's actually going to get caught out. It's a brilliant Magnet Storm into the Killer Instinct, into the Yone ultimate as well. And that is going to be game, you have to think, as the Yone is going to be taken down. The Solar Flare not really able to achieve anything. Brilliant play here from Spike Spiegel on the rail, showing a prowess on yet another strong engage support.
Yeah, Spike Spiegel's been the difference between him and Impress this series was really shown. He's just made so many great engages as we do want to come down to kill him for the 5th death for him. 18-6 there as they do go on to the Aphelios for the Aces. Oh, that was awful to see. Flash in to the immediate stun. Just Weasel has respawned with an open Nexus, and he goes down once again, not even getting a kill, just packing stats at this point. So as we see the final moments of the game as they turret dive, and I believe that is game. We unfortunately probably won't get to see the Nexus explode, but you have to imagine the Horizon Shadow have one here.
Yeah, brilliant performance from Horizon Shadow. We really saw the experience of their players going into games 2 and 3 after the slight cheese of the on support in game 1. Their experience really coming through well, and they're going to take the series that puts them 2-0 in Division 1 of Valence League, while Roccet are going to be sitting at 0-2, sadly. So perhaps later on in the season they'll be able to pick up some wins. But thank you everybody for watching. Once again, I've been Hooper and joined by my co-host Spitfire. Thank you very much, folks.